And we're live.
Hello.
Thank you for Adam Lusby. How are you?
Grand, mate. How are you?
And you've come along on episode 60 of
60,
the show.
Best episode to be on.
Is that just because you're on?
That's exactly
So
what it is.
we best pour ourselves a drink.
Okay.
Well, you don't drink beer
I
though.
don't drink beer.
Have you not got your?
Rude not to, well, not now.
I don't want you getting ill. Are you actually allergic
No,
to?
I just don't like it. I've got my Diet Coke and vodka.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Thank you. And if people aren't aware who Adam is, he's the owner of his own. Well, how would you describe it?
Strength and conditioning and personal training.
Yeah.
Based company.
And the name is?
Enhanced Sports Performance.
And how'd you come along with that? It's on your T-shirt.
It's on my
in fact.
T-shirt, actually. £20 if you want one. How did I come up? I can't really remember. I think it was my dad's idea.
Right.
I was just chatting to him, and he just thought it was a good name. Only problem is people think enhanced. They think of it's bad connotations to do with steroids.
I don't know. Do people still think that about it?
I don't know. Hopefully not.
And yeah, we started out training MMA together
Back in the day.
back in the day. Yeah.
When it was in Abertay.
Yeah. Which was a university campus, and it was
Yes.
our coach at the time was working there and teaching on the side, not for money. In one of the rooms, like one of the yoga rooms, I guess.
Yeah. That was brilliant. It must have been over 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
Easy.
I think, was it 2011 maybe? Is that what it was? 2010.
I'm going to say 2009.
Yeah.
I'm going to go early.
No, it wouldn't be that.
No?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because you're making me feel old. By saying that. And it was such a strange setup as well. And they would have like the mats, the old school mats,
Yeah,
the karate ones.
Yeah.
And you would end up sliding down the middle of
Sliding
it, and your toe would get caught.
And you'd have to put out the mats at the start of every class and then take them away. Not like nowadays.
I
It's
know.
all changed.
They used to do that at the karate program I did when I was younger.
Did
You
they?
know, you would have to bring out all the mats,
Bring out all the
and
mats.
you'd bow and praise your sensei, I guess. Stroke his ego.
Brilliant. I've never heard that too much with MMA. When I went down to Birmingham, I went to train with Braulio Estima,
Right.
who's obviously a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, if you don't know. And they still do like a bit of that, like bowing to Helio Gracie and stuff like that. I'm not really into that.
Do you know what I equate it to? Is you know, when have you ever done yoga?
No.
There's the bit at the very end where you have to say
Namaste.
Namaste.
That bit.
And I just never did it. It just didn't feel right to me.
Feels a bit forced.
Yeah. And I would just hear everyone being like, you know, looking inwards as you're supposed to and say Namaste.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
And then I would just like shake my head.
A little rebel, you.
I think, you know, you've had such a soothing and relaxing class, and then you just get so infuriated
You
by
ruin it.
people going Namaste, because you know the type of people
Oh yeah.
it attracts.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Muppets.
yoga's notorious for that, but I
Yeah,
think it's maybe
but
changing.
I think it is changing now. I used to be just a bit hippie, didn't
Yeah.
it? Like that kind of person, that kind of vibe, go to Burning Man kind of thing.
Yeah,
But nowadays I don't
there's a
think
Birmingham,
They're burning.
a Burning Man in Scotland.
Yeah, there
is
is. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
Is it called the Wicker Man?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's moving away from that, and like more clubs are starting to get yoga into it, which is I think it's a great thing. I would advise all my athletes to be doing yoga or some sort of Pilates, anything like that.
I've always been dubious of that back in the day, but I think more people are taking it up. And one of the ones was is it P90X?
P90X, so that's
Yeah.
just like isn't that an
Sorry,
interval
if you wanna
training
just-
kind of thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and no, it's like with the sort of they're kind of like the rings from, you know, the gymnast rings.
Oh, are they?
I think, but they're handled instead of like curved.
Oh,
It's like an actual handle that you hold on to. And I tried it once when I was in Toronto, and I ended up just being sick in the bathroom. It was
Was it
just
hard?
such a hard
Really?
workout. Yeah, but I
That's what-
hadn't trained in a while, so I was like, maybe it was
But
that.
no, people do think that it's going to be easy. But I've seen a few classes, and everyone it is hard, especially on your core and stuff like that.
I'll just see what it is. P90. Just so I'm not talking out my arse as usual.
Yeah.
Such a weird name though, P90X.
I don't know where that came from.
Oh, there's a bunch of like pictures of guys before and after.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you know supposedly how they do that?
What do you mean? They
You-
lose weight, shape up, don't they?
Well, you know
Might
how
be naive.
have you seen like the mags? Obviously, Men's
Yeah.
Fitness, and there's advertisements on internet for whatever way of doing something to lose weight.
Yeah.
But supposedly they pay models who are already fit to get fat.
To get fat.
And then they'll take the pictures of them ripped first.
Not surprise me.
Because when you see the picture, the before one, they always kind of look somewhat jacked, but they're fat.
Yeah, they've got fat muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they do. They just pay these.
I don't think about that. I just thought it was all Photoshop. There you go.
Photoshop. But yeah, so P90X, I think it is just like a pair of bands. Yeah. You know, see the bands there.
Oh yeah.
Look at all these buff folks. See, he looks like he was ripped before.
Yeah. See.
And then he's like, I'm super ripped now.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about you ruining this for me.
Well, that's what the whole fitness industry is like, though. It's just full of people posing, I guess, is it?
Yeah, well, that's one thing I found with doing this strength and conditioning stuff. You see people posting on Instagram, like, your basic moves are like your squat, bench, and deadlift, right? They're always going to be great moves, right? But you'll see people just for likes doing something completely wacky and something like on the Busu ball, on that doing a squat with 120 kg.
I've seen those videos.
This stuff it's not practical.
So dangerous.
It's stupid and it's dangerous.
It's highly dangerous.
They just do it just because people will be clicking on their thing. What the fuck's that? And people who don't know might think, oh, that's really good. But it's not.
The weirdest ones is where you see fitness models, predominantly female ones, and their followers, you can just tell why they have a bunch of followers.
Yeah.
And it's usually them sticking their ass out while they're squatting.
Yeah.
And it's always that angle. It's the booty
honestly,
angle.
see posing. See if you're a good poser.
Yeah.
Like, you can get away with so much. I stood in front of the mirror not long ago, took a picture, just for a transformation picture for myself, and I wasn't tensing, wasn't posing. I was like, oh my God, look at the state of me. And then I tensed, turned to the sides, and I was like, damn, I look damn good now.
Yeah.
It's just amazing the difference being able to pose and knowing, like, these people that's their job, isn't it? You know what I mean? So they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they know the lighting, they know everything, what to do.
And I'm sure people have talked about this before at length, but you're seeing the best version of all these people, and obviously that's going to have an effect on you if you're seeing that, and you're sort of like, why don't I look like this?
And the worst thing you can do is if you're feeling down or depressed, go on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah. No one's posting up the shit part of their life, are they?
I mean, they've worked out for like 5 years, shredded down, and then they've took about 1 billion pictures just to look like that one picture.
A great filter on it.
Hashtag no filter.
Hashtag no filter.
Why do people do that?
What, hashtag no filter?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it is filter.
What does it mean?
It just means that.
Is it like, oh, I'm vegan or something, like hashtag no filter? Like I go straight edge with my photos.
Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I've never done it, to be honest. I'm always filtering.
Filtering out the shite on Instagram.
Shite.
You do most of your stuff on Instagram though,
Yeah, and I prefer Instagram as just a platform to do it on.
Yeah.
I like it better. I don't know why, maybe it's just I find it easier to use than Facebook. But also the hashtag function's good for me.
Yeah. How do hashtags work on Facebook?
I don't think they do.
Because you can hashtag.
Can you? I have seen it actually recently, people doing little hashtags, but I don't know how it works. Like I haven't looked into that, and because I'm not big on Facebook, I don't really know. I'm not sure. That might be a new thing that they're.
You've always been able to hashtag it, but I don't know what happens when you click it. You know where it goes. Because Instagram has a pool of hashtags where you can obviously look up, click on it, and then there's a bunch of people that have included that hashtag. Yeah. But I don't know if Facebook even has that.
No, I have no idea what it's for. No idea.
Do you use any other platforms?
LinkedIn,
right?
Occasionally, but not very
What
often.
even is that?
It's like it's more. I feel like a business to business kind of thing, rather than like I'll connect with people who are boxers who run gyms and stuff like that, rather than just like my mates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more like a business orientated kind of thing. So that's quite good, and you can connect with quite good people. But you end up spending half your day on your phone doing social media. You know what I mean? It's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, like I always try and make a promise to myself, like I'm going to post one thing every day, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. But you do it, and then like your sort of interactions go way down, and I think it doesn't feel sort of natural. Then people are going to cling on to that and not interact with your posts.
Yeah, you can. Because it is now all about interaction and engagement and stuff like that, rather than just followers. But like you say, I feel a bit awkward sometimes posting stuff like DM me now, stuff like that. I feel a bit weird. doing stuff like that. So I don't like being in everyone's face all the time.
Yeah. Or even you might have to just start sticking your ass out all the time.
Might do that. Might just do that.
Have I seen you've got like a bunch of new shirts and leggings? Is it you got?
No leggings yet.
Okay.
But that might be a nice
That's a good
idea.
one, yeah.
Actually, my
Like,
girlfriend said that to me the other day. It'd be cool to have the enhanced sports performance of the leggings. Might branch out into that.
so you can get the t-shirts at this point. Is that only for your athletes?
Nah, you can buy them if you want.
Okay.
But
do you have a premium one that is for your athletes?
yeah, we have a special edition one for my athletes. You've got to be an athlete to do that. Professional athlete at that.
Yeah. And now you can take the before and after pictures.
Exactly.
And just pay people to get fat.
Exactly.
So how did you get into all this? Because when I've known you for years, and you know you occasionally came because you were always working. You would occasionally come to the club and you train and whatever, but you still held on to your training.
Yeah, I would train and disappear, and then come back and train and stuff like that. And I think I just realised I started myself I needed to get into the gym. I needed to do it because I was just getting out of shape and looking crap. And I hated it, absolutely hated it. But you just force yourself to go, and I ended up just loving it. And just that kind of thing, because my brother Craig, he trains Paul Keane, right? So Paul Keane's a professional boxer from Dundee, and they were needing someone to come in and teach him just the basic lifts, like the squat, deadlift, and bench. So I came in and did that because I knew technically how to lift. And I just kept on doing it for him. I ended up really liking it, so I just ended up branching out and just finding out stuff myself, getting more in depth about it,
right?
And just that way, and just building up a following.
And is it self-taught? Is it something that you?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm working in November. I've got a UK strength and conditioning course, and that's like the only like recognised one in the UK.
Okay.
So with that, basically with that certificate, I can then go and work in the USA and stuff like that.
That's great.
But that's a wee bit down the line now.
Is that something you've been wanting to do, or?
Yeah. Well, I realised when I worked in the jail. I worked as a prison officer in the jail.
He wasn't in the jail.
I wasn't in the jail. I know I say that sometimes. Life in the jail, and I think, oh shit.
I was in the jail.
No, but when I worked in the jail, there was a job in the jail as a personal trainer, basically. So I got one of my courses. I did do a course. And I did it because I wanted to be a personal trainer in the jail. That didn't pan out because once they're in that job, they stay in it for life. So there's no jobs coming up because it's just such a great job to do. Yeah. Because there's no hassle. All the prisoners love going to the gym. Yeah. So you don't get any hassle. You get to play football with them. And, you know what I mean? It's just brilliant. So
get stabbed occasionally.
It's an occupational hazard.
Getting chibbed.
Getting chibbed. So yeah. Just via that, and just because I was training Paul, and Paul was starting to look good, getting strong, more people started coming to me.
Feels like a situation that the inmates would probably know more than someone who's trying to teach them how to lift, because they're obviously there all the time. We had
a giant guy he was at some bench champion. He could bench a ridiculous amount of weight and stuff. So obviously he knows more than these guys in the jail who've just been on one course. But a lot of the guys you'll see who are huge don't know anything. Right. Don't know anything at all. It's unbelievable how little people know, but they're still big, and you think they must know a lot, but no. So it depends.
That's one I've seen a lot in gyms over the past years that I've been lifting. Is seeing people who are massive. You know, they've got so much on them, but their technique is just absolute dog shit. Yeah, it's shocking. Like especially the biggest one that is always terrible, apart from the squat, is the bench press. Yeah, you'll see them just like short,
just little motions,
and it's like,
yeah, it's quite bad. It's just an ego thing, isn't it? Yeah, it just turns into ego lifting. And that's just what it is.
And the weight as well. Like obviously, people just want to be seen lifting the biggest an weight. Enormous amount of weights. Yeah. But if you roll it back and do it properly, you're going to show benefits out of that.
Yeah, you definitely are. And the thing with the biggest amount of weight is, for athletes and my athletes, there's a point of diminishing returns. So like you might be able to bench 100k, and that's great. To get you to 150k, that might take us 2 years, maybe a year and a half. That's not going to help you that much, but all you're going to be doing is taking away from your other type of training, right? Your technical training. You're spending more time in the gym trying to get a good bench. Who cares if you got a good bench? You know what I mean, for athletes, who cares if you got a good bench? You know, so that's a mistake a lot of people make.
Drifting a wee bit.
Drifting away. That's a mistake a lot of people make.
Yeah, I mean, is it predominantly just athletes you work with that are in a specialised thing like boxing?
Just now, it's combat athletes. Yeah, I would like to branch out in the future into maybe soccer or football. But just now it's combat. It's because that's what I like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I'm not a huge football fan, you know what I mean, or anything like that. But I enjoy combat sports, so that's where I am just now. Obviously, I do personal training as well for just people want to lose a bit of weight and that.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough athletes in Dundee. Not really, you know what I mean? There's not professional athletes, a numerous amount where I could sustain my life.
Yeah. So you're having to like see further afield. Or,
yeah.
Are people
so
getting
the way you have to do that is just be doing online training, I suppose.
Are you branched into that yet?
I'm starting that. That'll be up next month.
Do you have to have a website for that, I guess?
No, there's an app you do it via. So there's an app called Trainer's Eyes. And yeah, I know.
It sounds very creepy.
It does sound a bit creepy.
By the way, your Trainer's Eyes is
Trainer's
always
Eyes.
on you.
No, so that app basically allows you to do it via that and has the tutorials in it of how to do it. But because I do a lot of sports specific stuff, like they won't have certain moves, but it links to YouTube, so you're still able to do it via that. So it's quite a good app.
It's cool.
It's quite works.
It's kind of similar to when you do dietary ones and they don't have like a bunch of stuff in there.
No,
but you can just look at the calories.
Yeah,
and it fills it in for you.
Yeah, you can switch it. Yeah,
I can't be bothered with all that stuff.
That's the hardest thing. Like, you do end up liking going to the gym, but doing your nutrition and stuff is just an absolute nightmare.
It's the one I struggle with the most, and I have done. You know, it's eating enough that I struggled with.
All right, I don't struggle with that.
I don't think a lot of people do. You know, I was bulking for a while,
right?
You know, and I got pretty big, and then it kind of is sort of testament to restricted eating. But I've been working just non-stop for the last 3 weeks. And all my gains just not my muscular gains, but my I felt good and big and powerful.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know if you want. Yeah, I was bulking, bro. I was a monster. People went across the other side of the road when I came down, and there's like 3 days out of the week where I just don't eat enough because I'm delivering all the time.
Yeah.
And I've lost so much of that sort of mass.
Yeah, well that's the problem also if you eat clean. Like, see if you eat really clean, it's hard to eat the calories you might need to eat, you know what I mean? So if you're eating chicken breast and broccoli, that's not going to be that many calories.
No.
You know what I mean? But if you're working all the time or training all the time, it's going to be hard. You need to force yourself, essentially.
Yeah, force feeding.
Force feeding, yeah.
I'll end up just sticking my fingers down my throat later on. Have the illusion that I'm eating. But it is there's like so many sides to that coin, like fitness, even combat, you know, things that might be considered a rule of thumb in one area will be sort of counterintuitive in another area. I think we're seeing that with cross training and MMA and how it applies.
Yeah.
You can't just people just think, oh, I'm going to bench and punch a bag all day, and it's like it's not what works.
The mistake a lot of people make is either they don't believe in strength training at all, they think it's going to make you slow, which is not true, or they just don't believe in doing other forms of training. Yeah. So even like elite people like Marcelo Garcia, who is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and one of the best ever, he doesn't believe.
Arguably,
no, he's the best.
It's only because you've been to see him.
Might have been. No, but he doesn't believe in cross training at all.
Yeah.
He just believes in doing just jiu-jitsu or just rolling, and that's it. I don't believe in that at all. I think
it's important to do.
I think that's an old school way of thinking.
Yeah.
And
it's so funny that for someone who was seen as so progressive in his field,
he just
in such a short space of time has become like a sort of dinosaur.
Yeah, it's
weird. His thinking, obviously his technique and whatever is phenomenal.
He's still one of the best, but it's just strange to think
that.
Yeah, and he's got to such a high level and he doesn't do that. Like, there's no way he wouldn't be even better if he did do that.
Do you think that's true? Do you think that we see athletes and taking MMA as an example that even like John Jones, we've seen him in his time off doing like strength training and then powerlifting. I guess is what he was really into. Yeah. and
steroids, but yeah.
If he had managed to have made it to the cage, do you think we would have seen like a difference?
Oh yeah, if you take John Jones and you say to him, you're not allowed to do any strength training, you're not allowed to do anything, you take John Jones and say, right, we're going to put you on a proper strength and conditioning program with the elite of the elite, the people like, there's a guy called Lauren Landau, he's brilliant, right? People like that. The John Jones that's doing the strength and conditioning is going to kick the ass of the John Jones who's not doing the strength and conditioning. That's what I believe anyway. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this kind of stuff.
I wish we could see that.
But, yeah,
like,
future,
it might have to happen with VR. You know?
VR,
like, you could fight yourself.
Definitely.
Maybe that's how future scientists will test to see if what they're doing is actually working.
100%.
Because then you could fight yourself.
100% that's happening.
How much would you pay to see someone like John Jones fight his steroid self?
You can do John Jones versus like anybody.
Well, that's just a normal fight.
no, from someone back in the day. You can't do John Muhammad Ali now, can you?
No, that's true. I thought you meant like DC or something. Again.
No, not again. Someone from back in the day.
But you wouldn't be able to like. How would you manage to be able to take their attributes and skills?
I don't know, because I'm not a scientist.
It would just be a summarization, I guess, was it?
No idea.
Whereas you could actually test people.
You can actually test them because they're still alive. So, yeah.
Imagine Brock Lesnar against himself.
That'd be scary.
He wouldn't be able to push himself. That'd be
scary.
He'd just run up to himself in the cage and be like...
that unmovable object versus
Superman himself.
He's a scary boy.
I know.
He does strength and conditioning, I bet you.
Yeah, of course. Do you... I mean, I think it's hard to put a blanket statement like that across all athletes, because there are people who maybe have natural talents that means that they don't have to, but I guess it's only going to elevate any sort of natural attributes you have.
You might be the best, but you can be better. I mean, if you're not doing strength and conditioning, I don't think...
Should be your motto.
Be better.
You could be the best, but you can be better.
You're right, it could be. But no, you definitely will be better by doing strength. It's just also the days of like doing just like conditioning where like you're just going till you puke.
Yeah.
Like that's old school, and that's just stupid thinking, I think.
Yeah.
Like your lines, Dan, remember lines like Ken Shamrock?
Yeah.
So he would just bring his guys in and just absolutely beast them. And then put them into sparring.
Yeah.
Like those days are gone.
Yeah.
Like, you won't get away with that nowadays. One
of the sort of scary stories I've heard about Baz Rutten, or Bass, because he doesn't like Baz. It's Bass. Okay. What he would do is, when he was training, he would hit the punch bag as hard as he could for 30 seconds and then work his way up to 5 minutes. So he just literally like...
Yeah, that doesn't work.
But that's why he's fucked. Like, he's got like nerve damage in his
all
neck.
his joints will be fucked.
So he's got like one tiny arm like Jeremy Beadle.
Yeah, he's got a Jeremy Beadle arm, yeah.
It's his power hand.
That doesn't work. But like, see when you're doing stuff like sharp busts, you're trying to improve that, right? So you want to do like 10 seconds, 100%. Then you want to take a rest, right? Of like a 2-minute rest, minute and a half rest.
Okay.
Then you go back to it and do it again because you've recovered and you can do it 100% again.
Yeah.
Just blasting the bag for 5 minutes isn't really. You're trying to focus. You're trying to make it more specific. You want to make it more specific to energy systems and stuff like that.
And who are the type of guys that you've got under you just now? Excuse the phrasing.
Well, obviously Scott Malone, who you've had on this podcast before. So he's fighting. I think he's fighting the end of October. So we're way to start doing. He hasn't actually messaged me, so
come on, Scott, get with it.
I know. Okay. So Paul Keane, who's fighting for his second title,
and he's a Scottish boxer.
He's
a
Scottish boxer now. I think he's a Celtic champion. He'll be Scottish champion. Okay. So that's coming up soon.
How do you become Celtic champion? Do you fight dragons?
Yes, dragons from Wales, leprechauns from Ireland, and stuff like that.
Nice. Leprechauns are dangerous.
They are.
I've never seen Leprechaun.
I haven't seen a dragon either. So loads of other guys. We've got Sean McKiddie, who's just starting out his professional boxing career. I've got Dean Sutherland, who's just starting his professional boxing career. I've got loads of boys now coming out. Sam Hickey as well, who's a brilliant amateur boxer, and he's looking to get into the Olympics. He's like close to being in the Olympics. So.
That'd be good if you're in with these guys, in the sense that you're training them and helping them in their fights. That's only going to bring more attention to what you're doing.
Oh, definitely, yeah. The trouble people get into is they judge how you're doing as a strength and conditioning coach by whether they win or not.
Right.
You can't really do that.
No.
Because there's so many other variables involved. So you've just got. That's why I do a lot of testing. Like, so if I took you as a client, we do baseline testing at the start and stuff like that.
Right.
Because if you're not assessing, you're guessing. That's the same.
Sorry, I'm getting a bit of a rattle off my microphone here. Don't know what's up.
Oh God.
I have to just
Sorry, I'll just
not shake the table at all.
I'll do the podcast I'm on. It's fine.
Sorry, we'll swap mics. No one could hear you. So you're continue with what you were saying.
I'm just saying, yeah, baseline testing is a big thing for me,
Okay.
so that I know that we're improving, and so like, see if we do baseline testing at the start and then at the end of the camp, you'll know that you're improving. And it's good for you mentally as well to see that power output's improved and stuff like that. So that's the way I do my kind of testing, because let's say you can't base it on wins and losses.
Yeah.
If
Is there anywhere like the sort of UFC Institute in the UK, you know, somewhere that sort of broadly tests athletes and sort
the
of...
GB Olympic team, they'll have a facility like that. I mean, there's guys, Boxing Science down in, I think, are they down in Birmingham or Sheffield area? They've got a good setup there. They're doing a lot of stuff like that. But to get to the UFC Performance Institute level, you're talking millions of pounds.
Yeah. It's not something we'd probably get in the UK, I guess.
Not to that level.
No.
Not to that level. No, certainly not.
It's such an amazing facility, though.
Oh, I'd love to go.
They're just they feed all the fighters, you know, and if they're on a specific diet for their fight, then they'll cater to that. And they're testing these guys every day. And
yeah.
we saw what obviously didn't help Francis Ngannou's condition.
No, but they don't really. I don't think they care about that, in the sense that they don't care that Francis Ngannou is a crap wrestler, right? What they want is him to make it to the fight.
Right.
So that's why they introduced this UFC Performance Institute, because they want to reduce injuries and they want people making it to fight. That's why they did it, because they were sick fed up of people pulling out because they've been sparring on the week of their fight and got a cut, or they're doing something stupid. So they're educating the athletes and the coaches just so there's less injuries. I think that's the main reason I think they're doing it.
Like they're trying to babysit their athletes so they make it and keep the money intact, because obviously there's a lot of cases of fighters pulling out due to poor nutrition, or the weight cuts went terribly wrong.
So if you get a professional in there like Mike Dolce, I don't know who is their nutritionist person, but persons, but that'd be great. I mean, that'd be great for them.
Actually, we have a question.
Oh, a question.
Yes, on the live video. It's Nikki Bain.
Nikki Bain. Hello, Nikki.
Paul Keane's last pro fight was brilliant. Was Adam happy with his display of strength and conditioning during this bout? And how rewarding is it to see the results at work?
Oh, it's brilliant. But yeah, like that kind of fight that Paul was in, the guy called Jay Byrne, and he is like super aggressive, in your face, almost like a Cain Velasquez type of fighter. So he's like right there the whole time, boom, boom, boom. So
not stepping backwards, and just trying to wear you out.
No, exactly. He's actually sparred Conor McGregor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did he get sparkled?
Sparkled. He got $1,000 for it. That's all I know.
$1,000?
$1,000 per sparring.
Wow.
I'll take that for getting sparkled.
That's crazy.
But so yeah, he was coming forward the whole time. So it shows his strength, because he was managed to shuck him off in the clinch. Although we don't have clinches.
He wasn't getting bullied.
He wasn't getting bullied by him, and is obviously his conditioning held up. So that was great. It's great to see that it's improvement and see it's working.
So when you're doing your baseline and you see previous performances, is there things that you see that you think, this is something we'll have to work on to remedy, whether it's like you say, someone getting bullied in the clinch?
Yeah, well, so what I'll do is I'll just give you my tests. I've got like a broad jump, vertical jump, so that's just for explosive power, right? But then you do stuff like unilateral jumps, so single leg jumps,
right? And
that reason is you want to be both powerful off each leg,
right?
Okay, because although you might not be a switch hitter, Paul Keane's a switch hitter, so he really needs to be powerful off both legs. But if you're not, you're still going to be pushing off that front foot, maybe going backwards or whatever it may be. You still need to be powerful.
Makes sense.
So if I do that and I see you've got a big discrepancy between those, like between your right leg and left leg, I know that we need to be doing more unilateral work.
Right.
So we need to be doing, instead of squats, we'll still do squats, but we might do split squats as well.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So that's why, like, see if someone gives you a program and it's a strength conditioning coach and says this is personalized to you. Well, it's not. They're chatting shit unless they're testing you.
Yeah.
So I'll always look at fighters, how they fight as well. So whether that be when they're shooting in, I want to see how low they're shooting in, because sometimes I do some isometric stuff, which is where you're holding a weight at a certain point.
Right.
So I want to replicate that, how low he's shooting in. I want to be able to do that in split squat.
With a bit of weight and resistance as well.
Yeah, or you just, even at isometrics, when you like have an empty bar and you're pushing against that unmovable object, so you push against the rack, boom, for 5 seconds and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that you're kind of in the same level.
Has anyone spewed on their test?
I've had a few spewers doing the muscular endurance stuff. So I put a heart rate monitor on my guys and just get them to do kind of yeah, just rounds of stuff. You know what I mean?
How well do you advise using the heart rate monitor?
I would say that's going to be, if you're not doing it, I don't know why.
Right.
They're cheap enough and they're accurate enough where everyone should be doing it.
Do you do one that's like a wrist one or
No, they're not. Yeah, wrist ones aren't as accurate as round the chest.
Okay.
So round the chest, they might be a bit annoying, but they're much more accurate. And they're only like a good one's 40 quid. You know what I mean?
And you look like some sort of sexy MMA stripper.
Exactly, they do. Everyone knows
A bustier is what I don't even know what that is. I think.
But nah, everyone should be using that because you want to know if you're in the right zone.
Yeah.
You need to know. There's things like recovery runs and stuff where you need to keep your heart rate in a certain zone, otherwise you're pushing too hard. So if you're not wearing the heart rate, how do you know? Also, if we're just training with personal trainer clients, I want to know that they're pushing themselves.
Yeah.
People think they're pushing themselves, but they're not. So I can look at my phone and be like, right, okay, he's at 85%. Is maximum heart rate, okay.
And you can probably do it yourself then, I guess.
Oh yeah,
if you're doing a workout by yourself.
Oh yeah.
And you realise that your heart rate's not getting pushed that much, but you think you're doing
you
enough.
Think, yeah.
Yeah.
People
I mean, how many people have done that?
Oh, people go to the gym every day and think they're working hard.
Superman.
Yeah, but they're not. But yeah, so that's essential, I'd say. In the future, you won't see any professionals not using a heart rate monitor.
Yeah, I wonder who was the first to sort of use that stuff in MMA, I guess specifically.
Sean Shirk.
Right.
He did.
Is that when he fought BJ?
He did some, like, probably advanced for its time. It's probably not that advanced anymore, but he did kind of some good stuff. Conditioning work that was specific to sport and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of. I can't remember who else.
Do you have anyone hitting a tire with a big massive hammer anymore?
No, I haven't done that with boys. No. See, stuff like I prefer what are called ballistic.
Right.
So ballistic, like people get ballistic and plyometrics mixed up. So ballistic is like a medicine ball toss. So it's when you're releasing the weight. So like if you're just balls here, boom, you're throwing out like a cross with the weight. So I like doing stuff like that because you're not de-accelerating. So see if you have big heavy dumbbells and you're throwing hooks at a back, just being stupid, doing stupid shit, right? You're gonna de-accelerate, right? So when I'm throwing that big massive hook, there's a point where I've got to de-accelerate because I've got heavy weight on it.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise your shoulder pops out of joint, right?
Yeah.
And your body will do
it's
it
your body trying to protect itself. Protect your joints from getting.
So what happens when you take away that weight and you throw a big overhand route? If you've done that so many times, the body's going to de-accelerate.
Right. Okay.
So you don't want to de-accelerate before you fit the chin.
So it's programmed in.
Yeah.
Shit.
So you need to be doing ballistics.
Okay. Which takes you past that point, I guess, is it?
Yeah, it just makes it just stops the de-acceleration.
Right. Okay.
So
and how would you do it? Just with light weights or light?
Well, it depends. That's a whole like thing. You can either one day you'll be doing it in what's called the speed strength zone. So the speed strength zone is a lightweight.
Yeah.
Another day you'll be doing it in the strength speed zone. So the strength speed zone is a slightly heavier weight.
Right. Okay.
For anyone who looks that up, it's the force velocity curve. That's what force velocity curve. So that's what my athletes train, the force velocity curve every day.
You definitely googled that on the train on the way. No, he's a professional.
I'm a professional.
He knows what he's doing.
No, the piece of equipment I have. I don't know if you've seen it. The little yellow. I've got a little yellow thing I put on the end of the bar, and basically that tracks the velocity of that bar.
I think is it an app you use with it as well,
yeah,
so it shows you if you're doing it properly, if you're using your posture right. Is that right?
No, this one's just purely for the speed of that bar. So I know that if we're doing a speed strength day, I want you to be at a certain point with that bar. It needs to go this fast.
Okay.
So when they squat them, boom, I know, right, okay, you're in the right zone, or you're too heavy.
I've seen something similar with people who are trying to get their form properly when they're squatting and benching. Like I think it's an app, and I think you just like plot where the bar is.
The bar tracker.
And is that what it is?
Yeah, so that tracks the actual line of the bar.
The path.
But I think is it bar? Yeah, I don't know. I've got it on my phone, but yeah, but yeah, that works relatively well.
I heard it's the best app bar none.
Oh, I'm not even engaging that pun.
2 seconds, man. And I'm back.
Shocking.
Oh, you might have been on for that bit, actually.
Was it on? I was like, oh, God. Oh, no.
We'll see it on the live video. So is there anything that sort of frustrates you when you see other people doing stuff, or people have sort of preconceived notions when they come to you and they
Not so much preconceived notions, but there is stuff that obviously annoys me. Like, one of the things just now is, if I said to you, right, you're having a fight in a year's time, right? 1 year, you've got 1 year, right?
Wow.
But I said, right, but you're not allowed to do any technical stuff until 8 weeks out. Right, you're not allowed to spar, you're not allowed to go to class, you're not allowed to do any of that till 8 weeks out. You'd be like, that's fucking stupid. Right, so why are people not doing their strength and conditioning all year round?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't do it. They think, right, okay, I'm in camp now I'll do it.
Okay.
But you're completely behind by then.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be doing it throughout the year. Like you would throughout the year do, obviously you ramp it up.
Yeah.
But you would do it throughout the year like you would do your technical stuff.
That's true.
You know what I mean? That's something actually the UFC Performance Institute are looking at now. That guy, Dr. Don French, who is the head development guy or something.
Don French from French and Saunders.
It possibly is the same person, yes.
Is Joanna Lumley her other...
no, she got sacked.
Too much cocaine up the bum, I heard.
But yeah, so he was speaking about that.
Right.
And just talking about how it needs to start being year round. I couldn't agree with you more. It's just stupid to do it.
Someone I see always on Instagram doing it is the Bellator fighter,
Michael Chandler.
Yeah, he's always just working away.
He's always doing. I follow him. He's got good. They know what they're doing. Like he's got some good stuff. I like his stuff a lot.
And I love seeing his videos on Instagram because he's just working.
Yeah, he's working
hard
a lot.
Work.
He's good.
I think because he was part of the hype train, and he was obviously had hype because he was amazing.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
But who was it he lost to? He lost his title to someone.
Was it Pitbull? No.
Someone.
Yeah, he has lost a few.
And that kind of detracted from him, but he's worthy of.
I don't know how old he is now.
The UFC.
Maybe a bit.
Was it Mike?
Getting on a bit.
What's his last name? Mike
Chandler.
Mike Chandler. He is 32 years old.
It depends what way he is, was it?
He he's born in 1986. That's so depressing.
How old are you?
1986.
Yeah, 86 as well. You passed it too.
What are you?
1999. 1999?
What?
1999.
That's feel weird having you on this podcast now if you're born in. Yeah, he's great though. He fights at the lightweight though division.
So usually you find out that age kind of catch up with the lighter boys a bit quicker than the older guys.
But there have been some sort of exceptions.
Oh, there's always exceptions to the rule, I suppose.
Course,
yeah, but usually find just because it's speed, isn't it? Speed goes quick.
And I guess when you're taking people on, you're having to correct a lot of stuff as well. Bad habits, I guess.
Yeah, bad habits. Like, I'll have some people who come to me and they haven't lifted at all. So I'll have to teach them how to squat, how to bench. And that's another reason why you should be doing it year round.
Yeah.
Because if you come to me 6-8 weeks out, it's not a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 8 weeks out to the fight is only 7 weeks out. 7 weeks of training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you've got, that's why I don't teach Olympic lifts.
Right.
Because although they're brilliant and they work, a trap bar deadlift jump kind of does the same thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take anywhere near as long to teach because Olympic lifts are so technical.
I know, they're so hard to learn.
They're really hard to learn.
No, people have spent years trying to just figure out how to do it properly.
Yeah, exactly. So
people come to it every year, maybe like for a set period.
Yeah, so we haven't got time for that.
Okay.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay, black lady.
But no, we haven't got time for it. So
it's smart though. Like,
yeah,
I love the trap bar.
The trap bar's brilliant.
You know, you can lift more weight, so you get used to moving more weight, but without the stress that
it's stress in the back,
on the front of your back. Oh, the back of your back.
The back of your back, the lower of your back. Yeah, because the weight's not in front of you, you don't have that strain as much. So you're much better to be in a more upright position. It's kind of a hybrid between a deadlift and a squat.
Right. Yeah.
But I love it. Like we've got one at Skyax where I train. Paul Keane, and we use it all the time.
Okay.
Constantly.
Yeah. Constantly. It's the one I've been sort of trying to promote for a long time because it helped me to no end when I was training by myself for fights. I would always use the trap bar.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of is such a natural plane of motion to lift it.
Yeah, it's just much.
I don't know who came up with a normal deadlift.
A genius came up with a trap bar, but also it's versatile because obviously you can do it as a farmer's carry. You know what I mean? You can do shrugs with it, and that's a much better position for your hands to be in. Stuff like that. We do shrugs quite a lot, just for the kind of neck factor of it. You want to have it. You do want to have a strong neck for taking shots.
And you want that I've taken steroids lick when you have big traps.
Yeah. Well, that's the best lick to have.
I was talking about this on, I think 2 podcasts ago with Scott Smith, and he was like, he was unsure that is a massive sign that you're on steroids to have massive traps, because it's a very specific muscle, and it's very hard to work and get big without some sort of extra help.
Yeah, I think people are all different, to be honest. You know,
Brock Lesnar's totally clean.
He's natural. Horse meat.
Naturally, just loves steroids.
You can look at certain people and say, yeah, they're on roids. Like, it's.
Can you tell?
You can, but you don't want. Yeah, no, you don't want to be saying everyone's on roids. You know what I mean? Because they might just be working harder than you.
Yeah.
They might just be eating right. They might just have good genetics.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are.
But there is a weird perception of it. You know, we have a weird relationship with athletes using steroids, you know, because it's hard to draw a line where something isn't performance enhancing.
Yeah, I mean, creatine.
Yeah.
Or a pre-workout.
And
or, you know what I mean?
I think creatine's like the most studied supplement.
Yeah, because it works.
And they have loads of studies on it.
Yeah. And
they show it does have a large uptick in your performance when you use this.
Yeah, well, lean muscle mass increases and stuff like that. It does work. Only problem with fighters taking it, if I'm looking from a fighter's standpoint, you do retain a lot of water. Yeah. So you can get that fat face kind of look. But if you taper it off, you're going to be absolutely fine.
I think there's a certain not brand of it, but a certain kind. What is the monohydrate? And then there's another one.
There's another one, but monohydrate, I think, is the good one.
Yeah.
I think that's the best one.
That is the one I use.
Yeah, creatine monohydrate.
I've just found great results with it. And people sort of load up on it initially, like they take more. But
I don't know the science behind that. I don't know if that works.
I've read up on it, and supposedly it sort of it doesn't really matter, because you can just take it the same dose over a longer period of time. It just gives you an instantaneous thing, which will be sort of diminish the more you sort of take it as well. So just to take it steady and at the recommended dose is always great. Do you mess around with any?
I used to mess around with creatine.
I'm going to say steroids.
The steroids. No, I'm scared of needles. But my go-to is pre-workouts. Oh, I'm addicted to them.
Really?
Oh,
like
unbelievable.
What's your
There's a really good one called Jim, which is JYM.
Okay.
By a guy called Jim Stepani.
Ah.
And
you should just call it JIM.
Probably.
Jim.
No, but his is they're a bit more expensive, but they're really, really good. Or Rich Piana's one's really good.
Oh yeah.
God rest his soul.
I know. He's up in the gym in the sky at this moment.
The gym in the sky, doing some deadlifts. What a shame.
Was he on steroids?
Yes.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm being facetious.
I had someone ask it about The Rock. I was like, "Do you think he's taking steroids?" I was like, "Yeah, 100%."
I've asked this question.
What?
That is a hard one to answer.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, The Rock is on steroids.
How do you know?
How do I know? Because he's very old, and look at the size of him. I think he's 72.
Right. This is my argument for why he isn't on steroids.
Right.
And it's based on nothing.
Right, okay.
And it is, he's been working out for years.
Right, correct.
Have you seen the size of his dad?
His dad's big. His dad was on steroids.
Have you seen his granddad?
No, I haven't seen his granddad.
Big guys.
Big guys.
Yeah. So he's been working out his whole life. He is an actor who just has all day long to work out,
That's the reason why I think he's one of the reasons he is definitely on steroids, because that's his job. Yeah. His job is to look that good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's not performing.
When Hugh Jackman turned into Wolverine,
steroids.
Steroids.
100%.
See when Ben Affleck turned into Batman? Steroids. See when...
I like how you said Ben Affleck turned into Batman.
Who's played Batman?
Not Ben. Oh, Ben Affleck. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I thought you meant Christian Bale.
No, he wasn't jacked, was he?
No,
was he jacked?
He went from the Machinist.
Oh yeah,
he was super thin.
Like that, yeah.
And he went to Batman, where he was jacked in 6 months. Yeah. I'll show you the picture for anyone that's listening. Look at the transformation pic for what's his name again?
Christian
Bale, from when he was the Machinist to 7 months later.
But I think every actor, if it's your job, why wouldn't you be taking steroids?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're competing
You're not
against
competing.
other
You're not hurting anybody. Why would you not do it?
And we know that doing steroids and certain things, human growth hormone, can have longevity for your life. You know, it can make you live longer.
Yeah.
But if you don't abuse it, you know, we have such a skewed look at any drugs that we take.
Yeah.
But I think when you're competing, that's when we have to draw lines.
Yes, definitely.
If you can hurt someone else in your when you're competing, if you're taking something that gives you one up on someone else, whether it's just you can have the ability to train better so you can hurt someone in a fight, or it has any effect in the fight as well.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that. That's definitely a no-no.
That's when we have to draw lines. Let's see. So yeah, that's...
So 6 months, and he went from...
that to that in 6 months.
Well, you don't know, but... And yeah, these guys have got a lot of time in their hand, and yeah, these guys have got the best nutritionists in the world, but...
It's hard because Christian Bale was always kind of jacked as well, because he was ripped.
Did he have that before it, did he?
And yeah, you can kind of see it on his... You see when he got down, he's still got like muscle sort of definition. Even though he's like super skinny, but
I don't know.
He was in American Psycho and he was like pretty big and ripped.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, but yeah, like you say, it's their profession is to look good on camera.
I've no issue with them taking steroids. Absolutely none whatsoever, because it doesn't harm anybody and it's your job. So go for it. Go for it if you want.
Just eat them all in your shreddies or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a pretty dramatic transformation though. Have you seen The Machinist?
I have not, no. Is that any good?
It's pretty intense, man.
Is it intense?
Just to see,
like that.
It's pretty trippy, to be honest. And yeah, just to see Christian Bale that malnourished, should I say.
50 Cent did one as well. Remember 50 Cent? He's on the same acting level as Christian Bale, and he did one as well. How he never got an Oscar for that, I don't know.
Is that the one where he supposedly had cancer in the movie?
Yeah, or something like HIV or something like that. But yeah, he did it as well.
He went from 50 cent to 10 cents. Come on, you gotta laugh. You're on my podcast. Come on, give me something. Yeah, we got another little thing here. So, Dean Wallace has mentioned.
Oh, hi, Dean.
Your thingamajigger. Let's see.
What's he saying?
He said, sorry, I'm getting a bit delayed with this because I've got loads of pages open, trying to hide all my porn collection from Adam. Yeah, it's taking forever. So he says, say to mention, was it Adam something UK?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Like ads for something or another? Adam CH UK?
I don't know who Adam CH UK is.
Oh.
Get in, Adam Chuck.
Chuck, Adam Chuck. Chuck.
I think it's the damn Chuck, isn't it? Or Chuck, I don't know. Maybe spelled it wrong.
Chuck there? Chuck as in chicken?
No, I think it's just his pet name for me. Don't read too much into it. It's just his pet name.
So another grown man has a pet name for you?
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
Well, I call him Dino.
Baggio, maybe, because he played football, didn't he?
He did play football.
So Dean, a former guest, who's been on the show. You've been doing some stuff with him. So you've been working on, like, he's been coming to you with...
yeah, so when I first started, he saw me via Scott Malone's Instagram page, just doing some stuff, and contacted me, wanted to get some sessions in. I think it was originally for a Spartan race, one of the big Spartan races. So
is it like Tough Mudder, is it?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like the hard Tough Mudder, I think.
Tougher Mudder.
Tougher Mudder, the toughest Mudder. So we started working with that, and then he's got like it's called the Wallace Wolves.
Yeah.
Like it's a closed Facebook group, and it's just all about weight loss and mindset, stuff like that. And he wanted me to bring me on board as like a coach and to do like some of the programming, like, because he was wanting to bring in like maybe a bit more gym orientated stuff, so how to do the bench press, how to do and be safe about that.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm working with him now. Me, Paul Keane and Scott Malone are all working with him in that. So I think there's a free taster on the 26th, 28th, 7-day taster of it, so you can just join the group, see if you like it. If you don't like it,
it's all geared towards him sort of creating a safe environment for people to try and lose weight.
Yeah, but it's the good thing about the thing I liked about it, and the reason I'm doing it is there's loads of weight loss things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to lose weight, like you can join Weight Watchers and lose weight. But like the mindset stuff's brilliant. That's what I'm into. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
So like when you do have an off day, you might watch one of his videos or someone that's saying something, because they're all really supportive of each other. Everyone that's in the community. So I like that aspect of it. That's the reason I joined.
I think some people look at it, and obviously he's connected to Herbalife, you know, which is controversial in itself. Not him joining it, but the company. You know,
the company's controversial, yes, certainly.
You know, we don't have to talk about it. There's loads of documentaries out there about it. But when you create something where people have accountability, they have a community that can sort of spur them on, even when you have a really super shit day.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
And you can see someone just nailing it every single day. Obviously, that's a projected image of someone's life. You know, everyone has tough days. You know, we were talking about Instagram later. You can go on there and see people squatting every day and having a massive arse, and everyone's like HD eyebrows, whatever the fuck that is, and see those things, and it's terrible. You know, it doesn't inspire
it doesn't help
you
at all.
But to be part of a community where people are all in the same boat as you, it's cool. Like I get what Dean's trying to do, and I admire it.
Yeah, and the good thing about it's not just all I've been nailing it today, I've been brilliant today. It's not. It's like fuck, I've had a shit day today. Like I've been rubbish. But then everyone hops on board and helps you out, and that's the two reasons why people fail about doing stuff like that is accountability, like you say. So that's why people get PTs. Yeah. And just like having a bad day and lack of motivation. If you have a community of people that are on the same kind of track as you, doing the same kind of thing, you're much more likely to succeed in whatever your goal is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why Weight Watchers and even like programs like Alcoholics Anonymous are also attractive, because there are other people that are in the same boat.
Yeah, same boat, yeah.
I mean, the only terrible thing about Alcoholics Anonymous is it's through like church or something like that.
Is it a religious based?
I think it has like a religious backbone to it. It's certainly in the US. I don't know. If
I don't know over here. But even like, to be honest, if it's got a religious base, it doesn't really matter. If it's helping you not drink alcohol, like we should be like. I'm surprised it isn't like an official thing in a jail setting. Like we don't have stuff like that in the jail. They have support groups and stuff like that, but.
Yeah, like there's nothing really sort of you've seen sort of a side of society that is sort of like a dark place for a lot of people, and it's surprising that they don't have any infrastructure in place to sort of, in the same way that Dean's doing, to provide a community within it. Yeah, you know, everyone's sort of there and trying to be a badass or whatever.
It's very hard when they're just completely addicted to drugs. Like that's their be all and end all. Right. So when you have that sole focus and nothing else matters, literally nothing else matters, it's very hard.
How long did you work in the prison?
3 years.
Wow. Which one? Oh, well.
Perth prison.
Yeah, okay. That's
prison.
Like high security, isn't it?
So, yeah, there's a multitude of people. Everybody from murderers to shoplifters, rapists to whatever. Everybody's in there.
Descending order, obviously. Not
I hate the shoplifters.
Well, we know.
But yeah, so it certainly was. It's an interesting job. It's a very interesting job. But you do see the dark side of stuff, and like the violence stuff didn't bother me, because like you kind of expect it. Yeah. You know you're going to prison. You know there's going to be violence, but it's this kind of stuff like self-harm that is really like, oof, like I can't believe someone would do that to themselves. Stuff like that, and like even like someone's mum and dad coming in to visit them, and you're like, fuck, they're just like my mum and dad. Yeah. And they're completely normal, and their son's just hooked on heroin. Yeah. And it's just completely ruined their lives.
Do you think they get? Do you think is the percentage of people that come in as addicts, or people that become addicts when they're in prison?
They did a testing of like everyone that came in had to get drug tested. I think it was 75% or 85% were either drug addicts or high at the time.
Right. Okay. And that's people who were just came in.
Just coming in. They're just coming into the jail for whatever reason. And they're the annoying ones, to be honest. Gotta say it. Sorry, but they are.
Yeah. And like, do you think it is something that's hard to stop in prisons, or do you think there's a way out of it?
No, it's nigh on impossible to stop, I would say, at the moment, because they've got so many ways of getting it in.
Yeah.
So in American prisons, you'll see them where, like, it's called, you have a visit, right? But there's a partition.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a whatever, glass in the way, right? We don't have that.
Right.
We do and we don't. So when you go in, if you're just a normal prisoner, whatever, you'll have an open visit, it's called. So we'll just be chatting like this. Right.
Is there other people? Like
oh yeah, there's 28. There's 28 seats, so there could be whatever that is times by 2 or more than more than because they've got children and stuff, people run about, right? If you do something bad, then you get put into the closed visit. So the closed visit is when it's a partition, right? But then after a month, you're off it. So the problem with that is people will swallow drugs, right? They can keep it in here. Right, so when we're searching them, getting to open their mouths, you can't see it.
Adam's pointing to his gullet.
I'm talking to my gullet right now. Yes, just below my Adam's apple. Right, so keep it in there.
Is that supposed to be a pun?
And then no. And what they do is they'll regurgitate it and open mouth kiss their partner. I've seen them open mouth kiss their mum.
Wow.
Open mouth kiss their brother.
That's
Doesn't
weird.
matter. And because we can't see the actual package, you can't really do anything about it.
Have you seen it going on, or what you suspected going on?
Oh yes,
you can't do anything.
You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Like it's even to the point where it's obvious and you can't do anything.
It seems like something they're so helpless to try and get rid of drugs in prison.
I think it's impossible.
They threaten people with stuff, but it just seems like it's empty threats. Like, oh, we have technology now that if you come in, we're going to find out. But they never allude to what it is.
So I'm probably allowed to say it.
Yeah, of course.
It's top secret. The technology that they have is it's called an ion scan machine. So what you do if you come in, and they say it's for people randomized, but it's for if people look dodgy, we'll do it, right? So I'm no longer a prison officer, by the way, so I'm allowed to say this. So we'll scan their hands with a fobby thing, right? A piece of cloth. And that goes into the machine, and it can read whether you are being contacted with drugs. If you are, you don't get that open visit I talked about, right? Okay. So that's one way, but we can't do that to every single person.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, but there's other ways to get in. Like, maybe you're in debt, right? If you're in debt to a big bad gangster, and he says, right,
try not to be.
Don't
to be
do
honest.
that. He says, right, you've got to bring in drugs for me, right?
Yep.
And what you do is you'd bank the drugs. So, do you know what banking is?
No.
You know banking. So banking is when you take the drugs and you shove it up your arse.
Ah, right, okay.
Right, so that's banking, right? So they'll deliberately go.
Try not to do that.
Right, don't. Yeah, it's not very good for you. So they'll deliberately do that to get the jail.
Right.
To pay off their debt, they'll go and just deliberately steal something. Know they're going to get caught, get the jail, boom, and just distribute all the drugs.
Yeah, I've heard about this on the radio recently. I think it was BBC Scotland, maybe, and they were talking about the different ways that people get it in that way.
Dead seagulls. Was one way.
What?
Yeah, just chuck over dead seagulls over the wall. True, honestly.
When they just fill it
Fill drugs. So they just think it's a dead seagull, and because the prisoners clean up the area,
yeah,
they'd be like, "Oh, that's a dead seagull." They'll pick it up and whatever, take it all.
And that would just be normal if you're in Dundee, you know.
Dead seagulls.
If just eating chicken nuggets all day, filled with cocaine.
Yep. But yeah, so that's how they do it. There's a multitude of ways.
There was someone recently that got caught doing it with a drone.
Drone,
is
yeah.
That right?
Yeah. So drones will be the next big problem they have, because at the minute they haven't got any like wiring over the top or any fencing.
Yeah.
So what you do, get a half decent drone. Drones will going to be come down in price all the time. So get a half decent drone, put a few phones on it, and the phones are literally the size of a lighter.
Wow.
They haven't got a screen or anything.
Okay.
Put that on it, put the drugs on it, fly it in, right? And it'll fly it to the window. A guy will hook it from the window, right? But what these Muppets did, they had the drone on record the whole time that they'd taken it out, and they didn't realise. So they were talking about, oh, this is great, we're going to get the drugs in, we're going to get all this money, blah, 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 blah. And of course they crashed the drone, and their faces all over it. So
yeah, because they flew it from their own house, I think, was it?
Yeah, or yeah.
So they recorded themselves driving it from their own house.
Yeah.
And then it was them, and they could see their registration on their car as it flew over the house, I think I heard.
Oh,
they just caught them instantly.
Everything. Their full name, national insurance numbers.
So, how do you feel about prisons? Do you think it's a necessary thing, or do you think it's a sort of it's not done in the right way?
What's the right way? Like, if the one question I asked when I joined was, what are people?
Where can I get drugs?
I wouldn't have asked that question. Very obvious. No, I asked, like in Poland, what are they rehabilitation likes in there? Because they've got the same kind of drinking culture as us. They love to drink, and they get arrested, they get fights, blah blah blah. But they don't have this nicely approach. So they won't have like groups going on. They won't have like education departments and stuff and work that we have.
Yeah.
So, but no one really answered that question, because if their rehabilitation rate is higher than ours, meaning less people come back in, well, surely that's the way to go.
Okay.
But we're trying to go for a more sort of Scandinavian approach, which is like a hotel. You know what I mean? Essentially, it's. But
I think that was already like that before they started to get that way.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not being in prison. I've not been a prison officer, so you have all the knowledge over me on it. But I think this sort of way the prison structures were already sort of in place before. It seems like it was being Scandinavianized, I guess.
Yeah, we've always had that kind of.
There was always that way of sort of
softer, I suppose. But people think that it needs to be harsh. I don't necessarily think it does. Like the punishment is having their freedom taken away. That's what the punishment is. What I do think is that they should have less stuff to start with, and if they behave, then you get given stuff. So you get given the open visits, you get given the TV. But
makes sense.
But instead of that, what they get is everything straight away, and then you've got to take it away from them, and that's just cause hassle. So, but it'll be interesting in the next few months because they're going to bring in no smoking in the jail.
How is that going to affect people? You know.
Oh, it'll be nuts for the first while. But I think they're thinking about the thinking behind it. They're saying it's health, right? But health of like the staff. But I don't think it really is. What I think it is essentially they've got to choose: do a smuggling tobacco, or do a smuggling spice, the legal high, or do a smuggling heroin or whatever. There's only so much room up there.
How do you smuggle fags up your arse?
Well, exactly.
They would just break instantly.
I think you'd probably use just tobacco.
I could just see someone trying to put like a whole, you know, that magic trick people do with the cigarette in their nose. It's like just up their arse. Whoop.
Someone takes out a cigar.
That's not a cigar.
But yeah, so be interesting to see what happens soon.
Yeah, I mean, they might have a mutiny on their hands.
Oh, 100%.
Are people going to be more like affected by no drugs or more affected by no cigarettes?
Oh, it's a tough one. I have heard a few people saying, I'm not coming back to the jail. I'm like, well, good. That's what's meant to happen.
It's a great area though, because you don't want to promote these people in a way that makes them sort of feel like the victim when they've done something serious. You know, there's a lot of things in place that perpetually keeps people in prison, and when that becomes your whole life, then you don't want to come outside. You know, what can you do when you get outside?
Yeah, well,
but at the same time, you don't want to just let people who are dangerous to be on the streets and commit crimes.
No, I don't know the answer, unfortunately.
It's a weird grey area that I don't think we've figured out the best way to take care of people that break the law. You know, and we've seen like laws that were laws, say 60 years ago, and become not laws anymore. Like society's views on certain things could change. You know, we have the fundamentals down, obviously, like don't kill that guy. But even people getting put away for drug offences. Yeah, but that's change. A weird one. You know, there's going to be people that are in jail for a long time because of drugs, and then a law will come into pass that says that those are not illegal anymore, and do you stay in prison? You know,
I don't know how it'll work, but that's certainly coming in the future. Obviously, the legalization of marijuana is happening. It's happening. It's just a matter of time.
Don't know if you've heard, folks.
This new drug.
The word from the street.
But other drugs, who knows? But I think it'll all be legalized just because money. It will save them so much money.
Yeah.
And make them so much money.
We know that the war, quote unquote, on drugs is just completely pointless. You know, it costs more money and more resources, and just devastates like some society as well. Certain pockets of it that are sort of targeted by that, and influxed with illegal drugs. You know, and then perpetual cycle of people being in prison. Usually it's small offences that take you in there, and then you end up getting caught up in the prison system and kept there. I guess, you know, I'm just talking from no experience here. I'm a white guy from Scotland, you know. I don't have any experience.
No, but you're right. That is essentially what happens. That's all it is.
Now, I remember the story, and I think it was in the newspaper as well. Didn't you end up saving like a newsagent's or something?
Not quite close, but
that's why you hate shoplifters.
I hate them. No, I was on the front of the Evening Telegraph in Dundee,
which is the local
newspaper. Yeah, about
fish and chips wrapper, I guess.
I think it was about 7 years ago now. It was a long time ago now. And what happened was, I was coming downstairs, mum and dad. It happened twice, so I don't know which one I got in the paper for. But I was coming downstairs, I think, and I heard a noise. So I went in to say, "Good morning, mum. Good morning, dad." And then it wasn't mum and dad. It was just a random person. And
so
I was
they
like,
were in your parents' home?
They were in the house, yeah. And he was. I was like, what
time was it?
Was it 10 o'clock?
Okay.
I don't know. And in
normal,
the morning.
Normal junkie hour.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was 8, you would have been there before him.
But so I went in and he just went, "Oh, I'm just looking for a job." And like it takes you like a split second to like realise what's going on. So at first I was like, "Oh," and then I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not true." Right? But the best part of it was like, so I held him there and did what I had to do to keep him there, right? And my dad came running through, right. And I was like, "Dad, call the police, right?"
Wait, I am the police.
Well, that happened because I was actually a voluntary policeman at the time.
Right.
So I had my badge in my pocket, so I did say that I am the police line, which is the greatest line I've ever said. But
I am the law.
I am the law, I'm the law man. So my dad comes running through, and I'm like, "Call the police, Dad, call the police."
So what did you do? Like, when you that moment he said, I'm looking for a job or something, and then
he tried to walk past me.
Right.
And I stopped him from walking past me.
Okay.
We'll say no more about that, but I stopped him from walking past me. Then my dad came in, told my dad to call the police. At this point, the guy was getting all agitated. I'm thinking, my dad's taking ages to call the police. What's going on? I turn around. My dad's got the phone book out, like the yellow pages. I'm looking, I'm like, "It's 999. Like, surely you know the police number." And he was like, "Oh, but is it an emergency? What's the non-emergency?" I was like, "This is a fucking emergency." So eventually they come and just arrest the guy. And I've never seen the guy again. I was hoping I would see him in the jail. Yeah, that'd be quite cool. So
I purposely got a job in the prison just to fucking to get you. Batter you.
I did actually see him a few weeks later, like just walking about the street, trying to rob other places.
Did he take anything, or
he took my dad's Zumba money, or tried to?
That's a travesty.
That's the worst kind of criminal.
Wait a minute, his money to go to Zumba, or his money he made from Zumba?
My money my dad made from Zumba.
Okay.
So I don't think the junkie was wanting to, or the drug addict was wanting to go to Zumba. He might be, but so he had that on him.
Well, I heard that's how junkies turn their life around.
By Zumba, yeah. Yep, dance.
It's like a sort of intervention in itself.
Yep,
you're true. Like, what am I doing with my life that I'm so low that I have to go to Zumba? I'm kidding.
But that's not gonna be happy.
Have you ever seen Aqua Zumba?
No, what's that?
It's real.
Is that?
Yeah, we when I was a lifeguard at Perth Leisure Pool, they used to have Aqua Zumba classes. Right. It was always like 80 plus, not the amount of people.
Oh right,
but the age bracket. And Fred, one of the Centurions, is that what you call them? Someone who's over 100?
Yeah, Centurion.
Not a Roman centurion.
No, not a Roman. Okay.
He used to go to all the classes every day, and he loved that Aqua Zumba because it takes all the pressure off your joints.
Yeah, it's no impact. That's like great for sports people. Not doing Aqua Zumba, but just like swimming. Great. Did you ever partake in any Aqua Zumba?
No, I was usually lifeguarding.
Making sure
everyone was always waiting for Fred to drop dead at one point.
Yeah. Did he ever?
No. Oh, well, he might be now. I think he was like 90 somewhere or another, like the 2 years leading up to when he turned to 100. And like there was times where you see him swimming and you were just like, this is it. This is when Fred like pops his clogs and I'm on bloody poolside.
But alas, he never did.
No, he never did. He kept going strong. But
good for Fred.
Yeah, I think he was in the newspaper, and it's a testament to being active in your later years. I think this is something that people don't emphasize. Even being active in your younger years, so when you're older, you still have the ability to do stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
My girlfriend's mum, she has a personal trainer now, and she's like, in that age where a lot of people would just think, I'm retired, I'll just, chill, do what I want. And as she's gotten older, she's seen like that she needs to do these things to be active, you know, and they're already active, you know. They do a lot of walking, but to do that at that age, I just find it so amazing.
My dad's 67, still hits the gym.
Really?
Still hits the gym, and he'd be lost without it. And but it's good for stuff like just like improves your bone density.
Yeah.
So if you fall over when you're 70 years old, 75 years old, that's why people break a hip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It improves just everything, coordination, everything.
Yeah.
So there's no reason not to do it.
And the thing that you sort of lose is bone density as you get older. And we know that all the studies show that just even lifting weights, doing your compound movements,
compound lifts,
will, you know, help with osteoporosis.
Yep.
There was a woman, I've mentioned this before on YouTube, and she was like, her doctor was like, you've got these signs of osteoporosis, you know, you're I think she was like 76,
right?
And they were like, how do I stop this? You know, it's quite a scary thing to be old and at that age where you're told that you might not be able to move the way you move again. And the doctor was kind of progressive in his thinking a little. He was like, you have to go at the gym. And definitely. She got a personal trainer, and she's been squatting, bench pressing, deadlifting, and it's totally curtailed any of her symptoms.
Brilliant.
You know, and it's so important that people do something just like that.
Keep yourself active. You see it so many times. People retire and they do absolutely nothing.
That's probably one of the big killers in amongst retired people is retiring.
Retiring itself. You see it within the next 3 years, people who've retired. And especially if you're going from a stressful job, because I think it's like all really high, intense stuff, and then you go to doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And just drop.
And mentally, it affects you as well, and that affects you physically. I think in the UK, and particularly Scotland, it's a working class mentality, and that breeds, well, I've worked my whole life doing manual labour. You know, I'm retired now, I can just chill and
just relax.
You know, I've earned it.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, I don't know what it's to be that generation where you've worked hard with it, you know, physically your whole life, and then retire and be like, well, I'm doing nothing now. But it can't stop like that. You know.
No, I don't think you could stop dead like that. Definitely not.
Well, you might.
But you've got to keep on doing something. Sadly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So are you, I mean, this is something that's going to be coming up more and more with my guests, but obviously we're leading up to Mcgregor and Khabib.
Yeah.
Was it UFC to...
I can't remember. It was 17? No. Has that just been?
No.
No, that's just been. It's been
no,
donkeys ago.
We're on 2-2. Is it 227?
No, after 100, I just lost it. And
they're
on every week.
Old man.
But they're on every week. It's too much.
Do you still watch MMA?
Because it's on literally every week, I do not watch it anywhere near as I much do. Obviously, I still keep up to date with it. Still watch the big ones. But it used to be, when we started doing this, what was it, 3 times?
A year, maybe.
Probably. Something like that.
With the UFC.
Yeah,
I think there was a lot of pride in the stream.
Yeah, but... That. Yeah, I couldn't get access to that kind of stuff. I was just watching UFC. So I would.
So it's 229.
229. It's close to 217. Yeah. Right. So yeah, but I think there's just too much of that.
Yeah.
There's just too much. I think they need to cut the roster down and have just big events once every month. 12 a year would be alright.
Yeah.
But now we've got fight nights on. Now we've got this on.
It's weird that you have a whole roster behind the top 10. Like you think the top 10 would be the people that have got to that position from other organizations.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a whole echelon of UFC fighters that are not on that.
Yeah, we've got like 300?
Yeah.
300
I think it's
on the
closer
roster?
to 500.
Closer to 500?
Yeah, I'll just have a little search of that.
Just nuts. Like that's just too many. I understand why they're doing it. Like I think it's because they don't want young talent to get picked up by Bellator and then come through the Bellator ranks and be a big massive superstar. Yeah. So if they just swallow up everybody, then that's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
I think they do need that system where these smaller organizations are feeder organizations for these big ones. But then how do you stop maybe Bellator wanting to become bigger than the UFC?
Yeah.
Realistically, could they be?
This is the closest they've ever been.
Yeah.
Definitely. You've got Michael Venom Page.
But how have they done that? Oh, don't speak about him.
He might be a muppet, but he's very good at what he does.
But when you fight cans, though, like you can look amazing.
Cyborg isn't a can. Come on.
Oh, he's old.
He's old, but
he's done so many steroids, he doesn't even know where he is.
I'm sorry, but the way he did it.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see
course.
next fight.
Yeah.
We'll see next fight.
But you've got someone who's like competed at a very advanced level and high level in one sport, and then you feed him a bunch of people that are not on the same level. You know, his experience doesn't really show with his MMA record. You know, he has this whole wealth of stand up, which he's had that weird style. He hasn't really had to tweak it for MMA so much. You know, maybe the distance is a bit more, but he's always been a distance fighter.
But also, he hasn't really fought an elite level wrestler or elite level anyone. But I still think, although he's a plonker, I think he's still going to be doing big things, and he's going to be a big name. And I think he'll beat Paul Daly as well. But back to
that's coming up, isn't it?
That's coming up.
No
way.
Tournament.
Yeah, tournament. I've got
when is that?
I have no idea.
Paul Daly, man, his left hook. Is it his hook?
Left hook's unbelievable.
He's a strange one. Have you ever met him? Have you ever seen him? I think who was fighting? I think it was Scott when he was fighting down south somewhere, like in his early amateur career. Scott would have to go miles away to get anyone to fight him, really. And I think it was one of Paul Daly's crew that he fought because he had his own gym at the time.
Right.
And when you see him, he's one of these people that just. His shape is he has a massive set shoulders on him, but like it tapers down to like a really thin waist.
He's like a V.
Yeah, and I think it's the same with McGregor. He has that same, and they all have that knockout power.
Yeah,
I think it's when you're lightweight, but you have broad shoulders, and you're able to like connect like that.
The way I kind of see it, and if I've got anyone coming in for testing, is their glutes, their legs, and their glutes. See if you've got a guy with a bow out Beyonce ass, he's gonna be powerful.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. Obviously, yeah, that nice V taper and stuff like that makes them look really good, and they probably are a top level athlete. But I think it's all in the glutes. If you see glutes and a big set of thighs, they're going to be powerful.
But do you think there's having that sort of big glutes and powerful thighs, but at the same time, there's a lot of people with what seems like a tilted pelvis. You know, you see that in a lot of people.
Oh,
yeah. It tilts.
I think that's called lordosis.
It goes back.
Yeah, so it looks like they're just sticking out their bum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is sort of throughout some athletes in that community, I guess. And it's I don't know how they don't get back problems from it.
I don't know. Probably will.
Maybe they have just strong glutes to sort of compensate for that.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, because a lot of people who have that tilted pelvis they have some hamstring issues as well.
Yeah.
Maybe weak ones.
Yeah.
So maybe they just have the tilt, but they have strong hamstrings.
Yeah, definitely. But like you'll see them, they'll probably work on their mobility stuff. Like get those hamstrings fat, and they know what to do. You would think, or you'd hope. A lot of them don't.
I'm so tight in my hamstrings; it's unreal. Like
really?
Oh, it's crazy. I've always been like that.
Just super tight.
I can do butterfly stretch, no problem. Get my legs all the way down to the floor.
But can't touch your toes.
Can't touch my toes.
Can you seriously not touch your toes? No. Oh my god.
Sometimes I can, but I've always had. I still keep the tightness in them, even when I'm like beyond like a normal level of tightness. You know, most people progressively can stretch better. Like when I be able to touch my toes, I can still feel the same tightness in it.
Yeah, but obviously if you're able to touch, you improve that range of motion.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I think my back's just more limber, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm bedded over really badly.
Conor. What were we talking about? Conor Khabib.
So what are your thoughts on this?
Usually...
And is there anything you're looking at from what you've seen of both athletes to what you think might go down in this fight?
Usually I would, if it's a wrestler versus a striker, I bet on the wrestler all day long. Just because you can Khabib, and you can control the fight. I always bet on the wrestler. But with this one, I just think that I think that Conor's going to catch him before he gets taken down.
Right.
Now obviously I would say it's like 60-40 or 55-45, but that's my belief. I think he's going to get caught, and we've seen him get caught by Michael Johnson, who he's not Conor McGregor.
No,
he's not. His striking's not there. So I think he's going to get caught. I think he'll get put away.
I mean, we know all fights start standing up. You know, it's almost cliche to say when it comes to a wrestler versus a striker match. Everyone always says that and puts that hope that they'll be able to connect before they get taken down. But if anyone's got the movement and if anyone's got the confidence, it's Conor. You know, this could be
distance as well. He controls distance really well. So I can see him getting caught as he comes in for a takedown, whether that be with a knee, an uppercut, or a kick.
And I think Khabib's quite predictable. Like, he never takes you down in the middle of the cage. He always uses his flurry of hands to get you to the cage, and then he just ends up working for singles and doubles.
Yeah, you know what's coming.
The cage.
But we knew what was coming with Damian Maia.
Yeah.
But you can't stop it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
So it doesn't.
But someone Mcgregor doesn't go backwards rarely, And if he does, he's moving to the side, and you're stepping into something. And we know Khabib just doesn't have the level of hands that his wrestling is at.
Nowhere near. Nowhere near. So have you got Khabib then? No, have you got Conor then? Sorry.
Conor.
Yeah.
I'm kind of almost disappointed that I've come to that conclusion after everything that's happened. I've followed Conor from an early age when he was fighting in Cage Warriors, and he was an up and comer. I always thought he was humble and he was great, and he always predicted his fights. But then, all these mega stars, something just changes, and people would rather see them get beat as opposed to see them win.
Yeah.
That happens. It's a natural shift when someone's got lots of money and they're still trying to act the same way. If you don't progress with your money.
See, I don't think you before, back in the early days.
But then, do you need that attitude to be the guy that is
maybe,
Conor?
Maybe you do.
Regardless of what, would he be able to still mind fuck these people if people still liked him and thought he was
and he
Mr.
wasn't
Nice
doing
Guy?
the power swagger and all that. I don't know, but at the start, I liked him a lot more back before he was champion, because I don't like the whole Instagram flashing your money and the whole Mayweather style. I don't like that. I don't think he was like that before he got stupid money.
No.
Now he's everywhere, just rolling about in Lambos and putting pictures up and stuff like that. I don't particularly like that. I liked that when he was funny and he was witty.
Yeah.
And he had good comebacks.
I think there was a point where if he continued down the path, he would have been the greatest ever. But I think he just switched that up for fame as opposed to actual legacy. And I think it was before he fought Diaz.
See, I think John Jones blows everyone out the water for the greatest of all time.
Oh, of course. No, I just mean for Conor, his legacy, his own one. I think after he fought Aldo, it was nothing could stop him. And if he continued to fight in the division, and although the Diaz fight was so tantalizing, it was amazing. But I think that stubbed his actual MMA legacy, even though he was able to escape that with his actual personality and his money and his, people want to see him fight Mayweather. Right. But I think his MMA career was stubbed by those fights because he didn't win concisely.
Right, got it.
Decisively, should I say?
Decisively. So do you think he's turned into I think he's almost like a freak show kind of thing. He's just a big, massive show now. Yeah. Whereas before we appreciated...
He was amazing.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff he'd done. Was it Marcus Brimovich or Marcus...
Yeah.
The black
guy, yeah.
See when he's going backwards and he's just moving in angles and then uppercuts. He figures out that this guy's susceptible to the uppercut and he just figures it out. And he's just so slick. His shots are so well placed.
Fight IQ, isn't it?
Yeah, that when he took out what's his face, Dennis Seaver, and passed his guard with that beautiful pass, even though he was out of it. But you know the one I mean?
Unconscious.
He goes from I think it's half guard to full mount. Right. It's such a beautiful pass. You have to watch it again.
I was in Ireland for that fight.
See if we can get it on here. What, you were in Ireland?
I was in Ireland and they shut the bar. Had a what's it called, a shut-in? A closed, whatever. Closing, that's it.
A shut-in.
Shut-in. Another shut-in.
Come on, boys, we're having a shut-in.
Honestly, it was unbelievable. The atmosphere. It was so good.
But this is, when you see this, it's just a beautiful pass. I mean, it's simple. He makes simple things look beautiful. And the alligator roll he did against Chad Mendes when Chad Mendes tried to put him in the guillotine and he rolled out of it. No one had seen it, and it was an old one, I think. Why is this guy coming up?
Who's that?
Oh, he's a thingamajigger.
Oh, right, one of
those. The actual pass is just something of beauty. Let's see if it shows you the pass. Maybe they have the full fight here, actually. And as people that have studied jiu-jitsu and MMA, this is always a brilliant thing to see. Let's see if he has it. So he has him against the cage. There was Aldo.
Old Aldo. What a shame, eh?
So yeah, this is the pass here. because he gets him against the cage. Although that was a bad matchup for Seaver.
Oh yeah,
because he was old and on the roids.
On the roids. There's someone who's on the roids and his giant traps.
He's like a mini Brock.
He is like a mini Brock Lesnar, actually.
Yeah, he's got the same hunchback.
Oh yeah.
So you'll see the pass. It's a beautiful pass as well. I don't know if they're going to show it. See how he slices over?
Yeah. Well,
comes
knee
back.
Slice there.
Over to full mount.
Nice.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Would have been more impressive if the guy wasn't semi-conscious. So.
True. But look at that.
It's
look,
good.
He's got the knee in and then he flips it over.
That's good.
Keeps his... That is amazing.
But it's against Dennis Seaver and he's half knocked out.
But you get the feeling that he would have done that against anyone, apart from
someone
Diaz.
good, yeah. Apart from someone good on the ground, yeah.
Have you seen the breakdown of Diaz when he goes for the guillotine, I think, in the first one? Remember, he falls back and McGregor passes, but Diaz has such a slick way of stopping the pass.
Right.
Because he knows he's been in that position so many times and he's felt someone trying to get round his guard while he has a nice guillotine on, and he switches his legs out to like cross his hips to stop the pass. It's just beautiful.
Well, that's a bit what I like about jiu-jitsu, when you know what's coming.
Yeah.
And you know, like, okay, I'm going to let him do this because I know the counter to this, which is this. Like, it's just so clever.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, that when I saw that against Seaver, like you say, it's against Seaver. So we've not really seen any of his jiu-jitsu. If he does, then I'm sorry for saying this. He'll be crying in his hunchback in Germany. But yeah, when I played it over and over, and it was the same with, he does like moments of class, McGregor. I've never been a huge fan of him recently because of, like you say, where he's went. Yeah. But some just absolutely amazing techniques. But people always say, oh, it's because he's against this person, or Chad Mendes didn't have a full camp, or it was a lucky punch against Aldo.
Like the Aldo thing, I don't think you can say it was a lucky punch because we've seen him in the back warming up, literally doing that punch, right?
You got any alcohol left?
I haven't got any alcohol left. Bloody parched I am. You can steal my beer. It's fine.
You're not drinking it. Do you want it?
No.
Do you want some?
No, I'm kidding you. But with the Chan Mendes thing, not having a full camp and taking it on 2 weeks' notice, that is a factor. You've got to take it into consideration. And doing it against Dennis Seaver is a factor. If he did that against Damian Maia, I would be impressed. But he's doing it against Dennis Seaver.
True.
You know what I mean? So you have got to take it into consideration. You've also got to take into consideration how Aldo looks now. After fighting Conor, see if Aldo went on a big massive tear again. I know he's just won his last one, but if he went on a big massive tear, that would be more impressive to me.
Right, okay.
But you know what I mean? He hasn't really done much since then. And he was getting on a bit in terms of fight age. You know what I mean? Not necessarily age, but fight age. He's had God knows how many fights.
Yeah, we know that. And 10 years is usually your lot when it comes to MMA.
Yeah, and especially I don't think in Brazil they'll spar very smart. I don't know what his fight camp is, but I've seen a lot of the Brazilian fight, and it's very Vanderlei Silva-esque.
Was it he fights for Nova?
Yeah.
I can't say it.
Nova Yao.
Yeah, Nova Yao. Someone's probably screaming at the mic like, it's fucking this, you idiots. But yes, supposedly they go pretty hard.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
One of the guys who was the Brazilian dudes, obviously because he's Brazilian, but Brazilian BJJ guy that trained there, he came up to when I was staying in Toronto, and he was the BJJ instructor there. And he was just talking about it, how it was pretty crazy.
It's just nuts.
Him and Henan Barao,
just
they
going
were
at it.
I can only imagine.
That's just another thing that's just going to end, like the old school days of running, doing conditioning until you puke, like I'm talking about, or just running long distance continually. The days of just getting in and sparring, like, well, we're sparring today. Oh, but just did a hard set. It doesn't matter. We're sparring today. We're sparring tomorrow as well. We're sparring every fucking day. Those days are gone, or they should be. If you're at a club right now and those days aren't gone, you find a new club.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important to sort of find a place that suits you.
Yeah,
and we've all had that guy that comes in fresh into Mertz Jiu-Jitsu. He's a big guy. He's always relied on his size and strength, and comes in and tries to beast everyone. And then there's one crafty purple belt there that
just snaps his shit.
Barry Lewis, maybe.
No, but yeah, you're right. Those days are gone, and hopefully they won't come back.
And it's humbling. I would never dream of going to a club and trying to beast everyone just because I'm new there, and trying to prove a point. That's not how I'm made.
No.
But yeah, to go in and thinking like, oh, I'm, I'm gonna show these guys what I'm made of.
Yeah, it's just,
and then you get humbled by people that are like a fifth of your weight.
But that's another ego thing, isn't it? That's just like what we were talking about before with ego lifting. That's ego. That's just all that is. You just don't want to get knocked out.
And I think you have to be so conscious of that and aware that your ego's not taking over in situations. It doesn't have to, even just lifting more or going in and trying to like beast something in because you're like, well, I've practiced this, it should be working, or just like that general sort of ego-ness in the gym. It's just there's no place for it really. I mean, the time it's there is when you're competing, I guess. Yeah. But when you're training and working, is to put that aside and realize what you're weak, where you're weak, and your areas that you're good in, and to work on that together. Yeah,
I do think you've got to have a bit of ego though, in the sense of like, I don't want to say no ego at all, because if there's no ego, then you won't care about getting tapped out, and you won't like. But I think you should always care a little bit. Yeah. Because you're trying to beat the other person. You're trying to improve. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not to the point where you're picking them up and slamming them on their head because you want to win, but you've got to have a better competition about it. Otherwise, you're just flow rolling and you're not. You know what I mean?
I love a bit of flow rolling.
Flow rolling.
So do you train much yourself these days? Like, are you specifically just more in at the gym, or are you doing...
You know what's funny? Now, I used to look at PTs and be like, yeah, they're in good shape, but they should be. That's their job, right? But...
I hate the ones you see and they're just fat. It's like you're an advertisement for your own business and you're fat.
Yeah, you can't be fat. That's certainly true.
Lusby, why are you so fat?
Why am I so fat? No. But...
That's why you gave me a large t-shirt. Was it one of yours?
Thank you, would be nice. Anyway.
Bloody wear it on the next episode.
No, but what was I saying? I'm talking
about ego and about you training specifically.
Yes, so me, it is harder now because I'm in the gym training other people. It is harder to then go and do training yourself. Yeah. But I still do it. I still enjoy it. I still keep...
It's like landscapers. When you go home and see their garden, it's always just paving.
It's just a shithole.
They never want to like take care of grass or put chips down.
You don't.
Just pave the whole place.
But what I have done, I always need a goal. So
right.
I think I've got a competition in October, just the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition in October I've just went in for. So that'll be kind of my next goal. I'm going to try...
Are you a belt? Have you got a belt?
I've got a blue belt.
Oh, no way. Belt, it's so funny that, though, because you've been training for so long. It's like...
Training for donkeys.
There's no way you should have a blue belt.
That's a system I don't like. I do like the belt. I do like belts because it gives people, like I say, a goal. Yeah. But I don't like how it's done by time, in the sense that, say you come for 4 years and you're utter crap, right?
Sounds about right.
That sounds right, yeah. But why should you be getting a blue belt? Because you've been coming? Yeah. No, but you're crap. Yeah. I don't want you to have a blue belt.
It seems that's inherent in a lot of traditional martial arts as well. We've seen, even with BJJ, that's stifled with that sort of thinking. People who would get ragdolled in a competition, but they get to like a purple belt after, just because they've been consistently there for however long.
Yeah. It's silly.
Why are you laughing?
No, I'm smiling. But you're right, because you're saying what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But, yeah, it shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case.
But then shouldn't it be consistency? Is that not a good thing, or should it be all considered?
Yeah, I suppose, because it's a bit unfair for the person who's maybe not just very good at it, but he tries very hard and he comes all the time. There has something to be said for that. Like, that's very admirable. He's coming all the time and he's getting beaten up all the time. That's great.
And someone might just have natural talents.
Natural ability, yeah, 100%. But there's just something that doesn't sit right with being rubbish, but being a black belt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just because you've done 25 years, if you're still crap, you're still crap. Tough luck.
There's these hilarious videos on YouTube of fake black belts.
Oh, getting called out. Yeah, brilliant.
It's so cringy.
That's so good. I can't believe the audacity. Audacity.
Unbelievable. It's so amazing. Like, one of the guys trained with the guy that he said had given him the black belt, and he's like calling him out, and he's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "Don't say sorry." He's like, "Fuck off, get out of here." But there's a lot of pridefulness when it comes to that. People take offense. It's the same with people pretending to be a Marine.
Yeah, like stolen valor
is a thing. Yeah. And because people have went through a certain thing together, suffered together, trained together, and ultimately sometimes died together, if it's the Marines or the Army or something like that.
Or a really hard jiu-jitsu class.
There's something that's like, when someone's faking something like that, it's hurtful, and they take it extremely personally.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you're a black belt and you see someone kicking about saying he's a black belt when he's not, you'd be very pissed off.
Oh, do you know who I'm going to be coming on next week?
Who?
Do you know McDojo Life?
No way.
Yep.
No way.
Yeah, but he's American, so we're going to have to do it through Skype.
Skype call.
But someone suggested for him to come on the podcast. I'm not sure who it was.
That's brilliant.
It was on Instagram. And he was like,
so
whose
good,
podcast
mate.
should we do next? Someone put my name forward. It was me. No. Don't know who it was. I asked him. He said it disappeared before he could read them. You know, the questions.
Yeah. Pop through, yeah.
And he was like, let's do this. And I was like, wow.
That's brilliant.
It's going to be good. So it's going to be over Skype. So it'll be my first Skype
one. That'll be a bit weird, because you got to compensate for the delay and stuff.
Yeah.
But his Instagram it's so funny.
And that's full of those, fake black belts.
Fake, but like I understand people who get annoyed at kung fu, like people saying that kung fu's fake, because if you spent 20 years of your life dedicating it to the no touch stuff, right, and someone comes over and says that's utter bullshit, you're not going to be like, yeah, you're right, yeah, you know what I mean? Because you're so invested into it.
It's kind of similar to academics in a way, when someone's a professor in something and they've got their tenure and they're so invested in maybe their ideas, and someone comes along and take like Egyptology. People just think, this is what we've got, this is all the information, but there's counter evidence to certain things that's been not taken seriously, because these people have their whole career based on this one idea of it. And it's the same with that type of thing,
Yeah, just get blinkers, you get blinded by it.
Blinded by the light.
100%. That'll be a great one. I can't wait till he comes on. That'll be good.
No, like I don't know how it'll work. I'm not going to do a video one, I think.
Just do
like I'll just release the audio.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I will, but I think his platform, the way he's not really about him. It's all videos that he promotes. It's not him speaking like, here's a video I made this week.
No.
So maybe it won't suit itself or lend itself to a video.
Like. You might love it.
I know. It's going to be good. So I will set out some people to ask questions. I think it'll be a good round on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you're listening to this and you know who McDojo Life is, or you want to find out, just search him on Instagram. And I'll put up some opportunities for people to ask questions, which will be great.
That'll be super.
Yeah,
can't wait.
Sorry, I'm talking about other guests while you're here.
Rude.
I'm bored.
So how's your training going? That's what I want to ask you. Are you still doing the old MMA, or are you just hitting the gym getting jacked?
I've just been doing loads of MDMA and
fair enough. Okay, didn't expect that answer.
No, it's what I usually say when someone asks me if I do MMA, and I'm like, well,
just MDMA.
More MDMA, because it's so weird when people have asked me whether it's my numerous amounts of jobs, or in the past when I've been somewhere, it's like, oh, do you do MMA? Just to break the ice, because I don't want to seem like a meathead, even though it's not a meathead sport. I always like, oh, MDMA.
I think we said cage fighting, it'd be meathead.
Yeah, true.
I hate when you've got to describe it as that. Hate it when people are like, what's MMA, and you've got to go like the cage fighting stuff, or Conor McGregor.
There was a guy that I worked on site with, and I think he was he was full Bulgarian, but he grew up in Russia.
Right, okay.
And he was a bit of a talker, and he was always like, yes, I'm kickboxing champion, and I never told him that I did anything.
Yeah.
And he was talking so much about how he was like a champion in all these sports, and he would always like try and motivate people on site with I shouldn't say on site because people don't know which job it is. On site with stories of I was in the third round, and I was getting beat up, and my coach was there, and I persevered, and you just gotta do it, and someone's trying to take a pin out the ground. It's like, for fuck's sake.
Just recalling Rocky, just saying Rocky stuff. Brilliant.
And he kind of went, like, he kept talking about it in front of everyone, and then someone said, oh, Darren's done MMA, and he just, like, didn't
say anything anymore.
It's just, I don't know, these people that are brought up in Bulgaria could well have done all these type of things. It's part of that national identity. Kazakhstan is wrestling and Sambo, I think that's the big one.
Boxing there as well.
Cool.
So there's a lot of them, that guy Sam Hickey was talking about, who's going over to the World Championships. He says a lot of them are from that kind of area, the Kazakhstan area, and they're technically brilliant,
right?
So they're obviously that's their thing, like sports, like a
like
big
combat,
thing for them.
Like one-on-one.
Yeah, that's why Russia give all their athletes steroids, because it's so important to them.
Have you seen the documentary? It's great.
Oh, it's superb. Absolutely superb.
I watched that a few times.
Mm.
It's one that's for you taking the information. I just had to watch it like a few. It's the same with some books I've read, like The Hungry Caterpillar. I had to read like 2 or 3 times just to take it in. It was so hard. The big pictures didn't do it for me. Yeah, it is for anyone that's not watched it. If you've lived on the moon somewhere, it's on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah,
and it's about the Russian involvement in state-sponsored doping.
Yeah.
For the Russian Olympic team.
And that was the thing that kind of blew it all up.
Yeah,
it got them banned from the Olympics but they partially banned.
They tie it into the guy that was a cyclist, and I think the original idea for the documentary was this cyclist who has been at sort of a semi-pro level of cycling, like Tour de France type cycling. He then thought, how do I get better at this? Because he couldn't just get past the next step. Yeah, and he thinks that all the athletes were on some form of drugs, which they obviously are. We know this about cycling. It's almost worse to try and do these events without any drugs.
Struggling.
And so he thought, right, I'm going to get someone to kind of have a like cycle on whatever drugs and have him piss clean to prove a point that you can do it, and then show like a marginal difference in your numbers or whatever. And then supposedly at the end he's going to be like, hey, look, I was doing this while I was on drugs. Yeah. But it didn't turn out that way. The scientist that was involved in it was a Russian guy that was involved in the state sponsoring. Yeah. So he got embroiled when it all came out.
Like, what are the chances of that? That's just an amazing. Like, you think you're doing it for one. You think your documentary is going to be about you, and about your semi-pro cycling career, and then you just.
I'm thinking that the guy that made the documentary might have put a phone call in to like the commission for the USADA.
USADA.
Like, this guy is fucking doping everyone just so he can get like a better documentary.
Maybe. He nearly got bloody killed though.
I know. Well, anyone doing anything against big old Vladimir will probably get shot for saying this as well.
Yeah, your time's over.
So yeah, we're kind of coming to the end of the show actually.
So soon.
What's your sort of long-term
goals?
Goals. Is there anything else that you want to get involved in, or are you speaking to someone that's going to help, or obviously you're doing Dean Wallace and helping with his will.
But obviously we want to grow that with Dean. That'd be great. It's going to be a great time. He's a good laugh. You know what I mean? So it's good. He's like a walking pre-workout. So it's brilliant. It's brilliant doing stuff with him. But for my personal goals, I want to grow enhanced sports performance, make it known. So I want it known like down your professional fighters, UFC level fighters in the UK. That's what I want to do. It's just the location. It's hard to do. I mean, that's why you've got to kind of bring in your online training aspect of it.
Yeah, it seems like a tool that's inevitably going to help people who are in places where there's not a lot of people maybe interested in it. Yeah. Although there is, but it's not part of that culture. There's not.
Yeah, because I managed to speak to Paddy Pimblett.
Ooh.
Yes.
The man from Cage Warriors.
Cage Warriors. So
has he not got a fight coming up soon?
2 weeks' time in Liverpool.
So you spoke to him?
I spoke to him. I just slid in them DMs and asked him if he wanted a free strength. No, actually for a really special a free strength and conditioning program.
Wow.
Because I don't think he does strength and conditioning, which is interesting.
No way.
Yeah, because he didn't like. He was like,
"What?" Gets a haircut either.
He was like, "What do you mean?"
I'm joking, Paddy. You have beautiful blonde locks. And you ever want to come on the podcast, you're more than welcome.
So I just messaged him just by chance. He messaged me back, so I sent him a program.
And what was his response? Like,
I just said, "Do you want a free program?" And he messaged back saying, "I'm not going to do an accent," but messaged back saying, "Yes."
Yes.
But he doesn't.
Alright, kid. Yes.
Yeah. But he obviously leaves it kind of up to his manager. So he's like kind of showed the manager what it's about. And he asked me like who I train and stuff like that. So I think obviously because it was only like 4 weeks out, I can't really do much with someone 4 weeks out.
Right.
I could tell them I could, but I'd be chatting shit, right? Yeah. So what I said to is
so you want to get them at the point where you can just sort of take over the whole program as opposed to coming in halfway. And
because I don't know what his experience is. I don't know what his gym experience is. Yeah. You know what I mean, you talk about training age, and training age is just like gym lifting. So you've been doing MMA 10 years, right? But training age, you've maybe only been doing weights 2 years. So that dictates how I train you, because there's different ways of doing it, right? So I don't know anything about that kid. I don't know whether like what he's done in this camp. So it'd be silly for me to just say like this is what you do for the last 4 weeks, because I don't know his training history.
And even previous injuries as well. That's something that you have to take into account.
Oh, definitely. That's one question I asked straight away. Like injuries, it's huge, especially when you're doing plyometrics. Plyometrics are heavy on the joints.
Yeah. Is that something you advocate? Is that
plyometrics? Yeah. Oh yeah. So strength, power, plyometrics, ballistics.
And how do you incorporate that into, say, someone that's in a fight camp? Now, what would be the first couple of weeks?
So it's phased. So unless you're a very high training age, over like 4 or 5 years, you do a block. So it's called block periodization.
Oh.
You want to get fancy, right? So first of all, you do a strength block, say 4 or 5 weeks, right?
Okay.
Next, you do, depending on how long your
was
camp
that just
is.
was that just a block with a full stop?
A block with full stop, yeah.
Block
periodization, full stop.
I thought period is a...
No, periodization.
Okay.
So you do a block periodization.
Okay.
Strength first. Strength always comes first because you hold that longest, right? So you do strength first. And your newfound strength, you want to utilize it. So if you don't, you just become a strong, slow guy, right?
Right.
So how you do utilize it is you utilize it in the next phase, which is the power phase. Okay, say 4 weeks, right? And then the next phase is the peak phase. So the peak phase just ramping you up, getting you ready for the fight. So you do a thing called contrast training. We don't get into that, but
is it like opposite from what you think you should be doing?
Yeah, no, it's lifting a really heavy weight.
So if you're a boxer, you just kick things.
Confuse the body.
People.
But that's how you do it. So strength, power, speed. Speed's always last.
Okay.
That's the way you should do it.
And do you take their idea of their camp, or do you implement like weeks, like 12 weeks? Do you say this is your camp for if you're under me, or do you work within their...
No, so that's another thing people do. They think that the fighter should be working around their strength and conditioning program. No, my strength and conditioning works around the program, because strength and conditioning isn't the top thing they should be doing. Yeah. They should be doing their technical stuff. So say if they come to me, look, I've got a sparring session or a technical session I need to do that day, or should I do strength and conditioning? They always do the technical session first. Right. Just because I'm a strength and conditioning coach doesn't mean I'm going to say mine's the best. Stop punching in the bag. You know what I mean? Always that first. So I always work around the fighter. Always.
It seems like that happens in a lot of camps because they bring in a talent that is a strength and conditioning, and I think that's another issue when it comes to ego. You're like, oh well, these guys are getting me in, they're paying me big bucks. I'm gonna have to make an impact. Yeah. And make it the main show is me. Yeah. People get. I think Dolce was like that a lot. You know, even though he's, you know, he meant well, but he was bro science a little bit.
But yeah, they do that. They just come in and think they're a top dog. They should be doing this.
And it has to be a symbiotic type relationship. You have to be entwined in all their stuff they're doing.
Yeah, like I'll go down and watch boys sparring and stuff. Right. I'm going down tomorrow to watch them spar. Okay. Just to see, like, maybe their output isn't good enough. So maybe they're only throwing 10 punches around. Stuff like that. Just so I can work it in with the stuff I'm doing. Okay. So maybe that's an endurance issue. Yeah. Maybe that's a shoulder conditioning issue, that their shoulders are burning up and they just can't throw any more punches. So we'll talk about that after, and then we'll implement it. We'll change. Our program isn't set in the sense of, like, if I find out you're actually really strong, then let's say I'm not going to spend the next 6 weeks doing strength. Right. Yeah. I'll spend a few weeks doing it, and then we'll move into power, because maybe that's your issue. Maybe power's your issue. Maybe speed's your issue. So it's all flexible. It's always flexible. Yes. And
it's ultimately never... Even though people always promote this as PTs and whatever, it's always like tailored to you. It never truly is. No. You know, you would have to have someone working with someone like that close, like you are, you know, and be like, well, I understand that you've went through this. I've seen that you've done this, and we're going to have to change it to this. But just because of time or whatever, and your injury, that is tailored.
Definitely. When it comes to the point...
PTs are selling a program. That's it.
That's the selling program. That's all it's doing. But when it comes to the point where I've got so many clients that I can't spend that time, that's when I cap it. Yeah. I'm like, right, okay, don't take any more clients on.
But it seems like a natural thing to do, though. Like a natural thing just to cap it when you can't physically do anymore.
Well,
you know?
People just chase that money, though, don't they? They just want to do 12 hours in the gym, make a lot of money, but then they're not really... Like, I'll sit there with a laptop when I've got my guys, and I'll type up their numbers, and I'll... You know what I mean? Stuff like that. They won't really do that.
There's a strong case of quantity and quality when it comes to that. So we got like another sort of person saying something. Ewan Sloan just put flying arm bars on.
Yeah, so me and Ewan Sloan,
Great guy,
coach, brilliant guy, coach, brilliant
DMA,
coach.
Yep,
and
solid guy.
Solid. Me and him have got a bet on. That's why that's the reason why I'm in this competition. That if I hit a flying armbar in the competition, I shouldn't say this because I'm going to give you my tactics for the next comp.
So what? It's going to be like McGregor. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
what,
matter.
It's
It's
still
coming. It's coming anyway. Yep. It's like winter.
It's even better if you say it. Say it at the weigh-ins. Be like flying armbar.
So if I hit a flying armbar, which I will, then he has to get the lawman tattooed on him somewhere, which is my nickname.
No,
given to me by Sloaney.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, Adam the Lawman.
That's
Lusby.
He's given most people their nicknames.
He's very good at it.
Because I think he gave Marley Buffalo Soldier.
Buffalo Soldier, good one.
He gave you the Lawman.
Lawman.
Was it? I don't know if Scott got Boom Boom from him.
Boom.
I think he did.
We'll just give it him. Yeah.
War Child for Dane.
Right. Yeah.
I think that was it.
What's yours?
It was the chin.
That's the worst one ever.
It's only because I have a massive chin.
Yeah, I get that, but it's still crap.
People just think it's because I thought I had like a granite chin. It wasn't.
Oh dear, everyone needs a good nickname.
Have you never thought about fighting, like in MMA?
No, you know what? I always do it. And last year I put my name in for a fight, but never actually came to fruition. It was down in Newcastle, and
I think it would be good. Sorry, just interject. But I think it'd be good for you to have. You don't have to have an idea of what's going on because you're implementing like things that you know based on someone and their background and what they're doing. But for that extra sort of little dimension for training, I would think of even just the mental side of it. Even though you're not taking these fighters into the fight, you are with them up until that point.
And understand what they're going through before a fight happens and stuff like that. I think you're completely right. I do completely agree with you. And then I do cardio. And then I'm just like, this is shit. This is rubbish. And I'd see like Paul Keane coming in. He's just on a hill run and he's got whatever tonight and he's training doing 2 days and stuff like that. I'm just like, I couldn't be bothered doing that. Yeah. But you're right. It is something I do have to do. At least just have one. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to do anything. But I think it would be great as a like I said, as a dimension that you're aware of when it comes to your fighters.
And then even if I have a few, and I could just use me as a guinea pig and do a certain type of conditioning training, a certain type of conditioning training.
Because you can ultimately practice what you preach.
Yeah, and find out what works the best. Like obviously, works the best for me doesn't mean it works the best for you, but of course, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you can get a general sort of sense
general
of
gist of that doesn't work. It's crap.
We talked about nutrition a little bit. Do you follow anything yourself? And I don't think it would be something that you talk about with your fighters, is it really?
No.
Or people that are under you?
They need a nutritionist. They're a professional fighter. They need a nutritionist. I'm not a qualified nutritionist, and I won't pretend to be one. So you'll see a lot of PTs doing that as well. If they're not a nutritionist, they shouldn't be giving you a meal plan. It's as simple as that. They're not allowed. Right. So no, personally, I feel great on keto, right? But I don't feel great when I'm doing explosive stuff on keto. But
there has been sort of arguments to say that goes away with ketogenic.
Does it? Does it when more you do it? See, I last a week.
No. I just mean like your explosiveness goes away.
Oh, goes away, right? Yeah. See, from what I've found doing it, it has. Yeah. Like I'm just doing sprints and stuff like that. But I just like the way my stomach feels. My stomach, like, see when I have loads of carbs, it feels all bloated and crap. So I like keto, but I wouldn't suggest that for athletes.
It's a tough one because it is a lifestyle change. The keto, it's not one you can just sort of. Well, I'll just have a cheat meal this weekend and then I'll be back on it next week.
No, but that's why I like it because it's all in. Right. All you've got to do it all in. If you have a cheat meal,
you're fucked.
You're fucked. You're in a lot of trouble.
And it's the same way. Some training is better for some people. Yeah. I think some diets. I mean, all diets are diets, but I think you just intuitively know which sort of diet suits you. Yeah. Now, by my girlfriend's family, they just eat pasta all the time. Right. They're like this, you know. Yeah. They just function on it. You know, they've done distance running a lot of the time, and that's something that they gravitate towards in their older age. Me, I love chips and fucking potatoes and all these types of things. Yeah. Not like crisp chips, but chips.
Not real chips.
And I can function when I do, eat these, and I don't get fat or whatever, because I just consume so many calories when I'm working out and going to the gym. And yeah, some people just function. I think Fenn's a good example.
He
functions so well on the ketogenic diet, and that suits him because he has an all or nothing type mentality, and you're probably the same.
Yeah, that's the way I like it. I like it that way. Like, diet's completely preference. I don't think strength and conditioning is you should be doing your strength stuff. Like that's not an option really. But with diet, it's complete option. It's just how you feel. Maybe you don't like carbs, but you need them just before you train. Maybe you need them just after. You've just got to figure it out yourself. There's no one can say keto's going to be brilliant for you.
Well, people do say that.
People do. Don't listen.
Fenn probably says ketogenic diet.
It's just preference, mate. It's all what you're used to.
But there's obviously going to be people like nutritionists and people like you when it comes to the actual strength and conditioning side that know the sort of, not the shortcut, but have tested these things on themselves. The day-to-day people that are working a 9-to-5 job are not going to take that time to mess around and figure out what's right for them.
No,
they're going to go to someone who can say, look, these are the options, we'll try and work out what's good for you or not.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's why nutrition is good, because most people don't have time, and they don't need to do it essentially because they're not athletes. They don't although they want to feel really good, obviously. But that's why a nutritionist is a brilliant thing to go to, and I would suggest that every athlete has one.
I think when you are an athlete or you train a lot, it doesn't really matter sometimes what you eat. It's like trying to fine tune a Ferrari by putting like super test petrol in it. The Ferrari's already like super Ferrari, but you'll see a marginal difference that might make a difference through the fuel. But if you did that to your bloody, like your Mazda like 2.2 whatever, or a 1 litre engine, it's not going to make a difference because it's no, is that what I'm trying to get at? No, I think your diet matters more. If I made the complete opposite point,
you're saying that you can just eat whatever you want.
If you're an athlete, you can get away with it.
I think you can get away with it more.
Yeah.
But I also think, as an athlete, that's part of your job to be eating clean.
I just made the opposite point with confusing metaphor. Just disregard that one.
Ignore what you're
Ferrari.
saying.
But I think it matters more when you're already in a place where you're overweight. I think diet matters more because you have to get your machine running better. And if you're not doing much physically, I think the only outlet you can get to be better is have a better diet initially.
Right. Well,
that's the thing that people skip the most.
Diet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's the hard part.
They go to the gym and think everything's going to be hunky dory, and they take their pre-workout and they take their protein shakes.
Don't be slagging pre-workout.
Do you remember Jack 3D?
Oh well, no, I've heard of it. This is like a mythological thing for me.
I've had it.
No,
yeah, it was
the
like
original,
taking fucking cocaine.
the OG.
Yeah, the OG one, the gangster one.
Cool. How was it?
Man, it was pretty intense. Like,
for no one who knows what we're talking about, this is a pre-workout that is like
banned.
It's banned because it's so good.
Like, I think in the Marines they stopped Marines using it.
Heart attacks or something.
It was giving like them physiological problems.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, I had it once. And I was like just stroking my face for like all day because I could feel it.
Tingles.
Like, it tingles on your.
Beta-alanine. Just to let you know if anyone wants to know about that.
But I didn't like pre-workout because I found myself just staring at the wall for 5 minutes, just
take a half dose or something. A half dose of it.
Just take a half cue. You'll be fine.
No, honestly, I need to stop taking this stuff. I love it.
Right.
I need to stop. It's addictive.
I think your sort of tolerance for it as well, is gets higher and higher.
Yeah.
So you obviously have to. Yeah. I might drink a cup of coffee. I will. What do I usually take before? I take L-leucine. It's like amino acid. It's a powder form. L is like the L-leucine, and I mix that with creatine, and I'll take electrolyte tablets.
Right.
I'll drink that when I'm at the.
So you take a lot of supplements.
Just 2.
Well, L-leucine, creatine, then your electrolytes.
It's the tablet ones. The ones you get in the tube.
Oh, right.
Got you.
Yeah,
no, it's the ones you get from Amazon.
Right, got you.
I'll download that. I'll down it before I go to the gym, and that's it.
And that's you're ready to rock.
I don't know if it doesn't give me a buzz though. It just prepares me for the gym.
So I don't know if it's a mental thing now because I think I'm used to the pre-workout. I think I take it and I'm like, right, it's gym time. You know what I mean? I don't know whether it's just mental or whether it's actually giving me a boost.
No, you are mental, but it could be the ritual of it.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, well, it is mental, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, so probably we'll finish up.
Brilliant.
I usually ask, this is something I usually ask people that have just came on.
Yeah.
I have like 4 or 5 questions.
Sure.
First question, favorite movie of all time or in general that
Elf.
you've seen recently? Elf.
Best Christmas movie ever.
That's Christmas.
Best movie ever.
Okay. I was stunned corrected. What do you like about it so much?
Oh, it's just so funny.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice family film.
Yeah, it is hilarious.
It's brilliant. It's the best
I think
thing
you can
going.
watch it during the summer and it still will have the same effect.
Yeah. And the Goonies is up there when I was young, but Elf, I think. Elf.
Sorry, we have another question from someone.
Who is it?
Jack Trez.
Trezise?
Yes.
He's currently in Australia at the
Wow.
moment, touring the world.
His question is, thinking of punching my dad, any tips for my punching technique?
This came from, he's got a twin called Tom, right?
Right.
And when they were about maybe 14, his dad ate the last ice lolly, right? So what Tom decided to do was he thought it would be a good response to punch his dad in the face. So that's where that comes from.
Okay.
So technique, yeah, transfer your weight. Okay, you got to transfer the weight. It's all about transfer of weight.
Yeah.
Okay, get the hips into it.
Yeah.
And
Jack, if you didn't knock him out, stop being a bitch. Just
yeah, exactly.
let's go for it.
Punch through the target. what else we got?
It's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips, baby.
And grow some wide shoulders, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
A big mutton chop hands.
And a big ass.
So back to my questions. Favorite book that you've read recently of all time,
Oh,
apart
favorite
from
book.
the twits,
That's a struggle because the only books I've been reading recently are
the Bible.
strength and conditioning books.
All right, okay. Well, do you have like a holy grail for yourself that you've read?
There's one by Joel Jameson, who's an MMA conditioning specific book. That's really good.
Okay. Do you know the name of it?
It's Joel Jameson, Ultimate MMA Conditioning.
Talk
or
about
something.
ego.
It just comes from Jameson. I'm trying. There's a few other ones. There's a periodization book which is really good. And that talks about that block periodization and an undulating periodization, which are 2 separate things. Talks about that, which is a really good book. I think that's just called periodization.
And can I give a little an insight to periodization?
So basically, what that is, it's how so the block formula that I use.
Yeah.
Is block. So boom, 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks. So there's other. So you do things like have a deload week. So you've ever had a deload week before, right? So stuff like that. That's all about periodization. It's all about how you do it.
And explain deload for people that don't.
Deload is when, so say you've had 4 weeks at the gym hitting hard doing gym stuff for 4 weeks. What you're meant to do is have a deload week, which is probably about 50% what you were lifting in the previous week.
Right.
And have that for the whole week. It's hard to do because people just want to keep on lifting weights.
Yeah.
But basically, your body adapts. And it adapts, and then you'll be able to go back at a higher level and stuff like that. So that's what you're meant to do.
And the main sort of thing is to try and shock your body at all times.
Yeah.
One of the ones I've heard about recently is doing stuff at 75%. 75% of your weight, and doing it like trying to do it as fast and as hard as you can.
So what that is what I do with that's called like velocity based training. Right. So that's when that's a speed strength zone. So you want to have 70 to 85% of the bar of your 1 RM on the bar. So you're doing a squat, boom, explosively as possible.
So that's 70% of your one
remix. Yeah, one rep max.
One remix.
One remix. Yeah, so that's how you do it, and that's why I have that tracker to make sure I'm in the right zone.
Cool.
Because on some days your 1 RM is going to be different.
Yeah.
You might be tired.
Of course.
Whatever. You know what I mean? So that's why I have that tracker to know.
No, because I'm not a bitch. My 1 rep goes up and up
every day,
even when I'm not doing it. I come back and it's went up by 100 kilos. Your favorite movie of all time, or one you've seen recently?
Just that I said that Elf.
Oh, Elf, yeah.
How could you forget that?
Sorry.
Elf again.
I was so mesmerized by your periodization.
Periodization talk. I know, it's exciting stuff.
Favorite quote of all time?
Oh, this is tricky. This is.
Don't quote yourself either.
I can't quote myself. There's one that I can't remember, but it's good. It's something about patience. So, if you're being patient, if you're waiting for someone, right, and you're not waiting, but you're waiting, but you're like getting annoyed about it, that's not being patient.
Okay.
So there's a skill in being patient.
Right.
Something to do with that.
So it's like something you can learn.
Yeah, patience is a skill. Same with breathing. Breathing's a skill as well.
So essentially, you're saying don't focus on being patient. just don't focus at all.
Just because you're being patient doesn't mean you're actually being patient.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
If you're preemptively trying to be.
Well, if you're going mental and waiting for you're not really being patient, are you?
Yeah, you're just trying to distract.
Just wait.
Cool. Do you know who it was by any chance?
No idea. I butchered it, so I have no idea who said it.
I think it was about someone in prison, probably.
Maybe.
It was probably a prisoner.
Probably just a random prisoner that told me that, eh?
Just getting like
When he was
dropping
off
knowledge,
his face.
knowledge bombs. He's probably on some astral travel, and you're just like, just be patient. But don't think about it. Favorite song, album, piece of music.
Carole King. It's got some bangers. I like Motown, like a lot of Motown stuff. I think it's just because mum and dad's age, like they're kind of from the 50s. So I like a lot of Motown stuff.
Nice.
So Al Green.
Nice.
Brilliant songs.
Good option.
Yep. Well, Otis Redding, obviously.
Yeah.
Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
Yep.
Classic.
No, that was one of the first things I learned on the piano.
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolute banger. We'll jam after this.
Anyway, man, it's been great to have you on.
Thank you.
And if anyone's listening, obviously check out Enhanced Sports Performance. And if you want, I guess, well, you promote yourself, actually.
Yeah, check me out. Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Everyone's on LinkedIn nowadays.
If anyone actually uses it.
Yeah.
Cheers for coming on, man.
No bother, man.
Ciao.